All right, good afternoon. You already have your agenda. We will do self-introduction. I'll give an overview of CPI, the purpose. We do CPI the correct way to do CPI, because there's also a wrong way to do CPI. So that's why we're here to learn the correct way. We will be working with a flip chart. We'll have discussions, activities, post-test, conclusion. Okay? So I will start with myself. My name is Miss Garme Tokpa. The K in my name is silent. A lot of people have issues when it comes to pronouncing my last name, but the K is actually like non-existent. I've been at Elam Center for about 11 years now. October will make me 12 years. I have worked as a program manager over the adolescent treatment program for the entire time. Aside from this, I also do the fire drill training, tornado drill training, and now I am a certified CPI instructor. This is my 3rd year of doing this. And prior to coming here, I worked at the Davidson County Juvenile Detention as a correction officer, intake officer, case manager. Then I moved to Florida with the same company as a therapist. I stayed in Florida for about 1.5 years. Then after that, I moved back to Nashville. Worked for another 1.5 years with the Davidson County Juvenile Detention. And then this position came and I worked my way back here. So that's the end of my story. So now I will allow each of you, since we're only 3 here, they say ladies first. I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I'm Jasmine. I'm a Master of Social Work student at UTK, Advanced Studying Songs, and my Master's in 1 year.
Yes.
And my dream is to mix the arts, spirituality, and social work together to create organizational intervention.
Nice. Well, welcome. I hope you will enjoy your time at Elam. We are a family here. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm August. I'm a 2nd-year master's student at Tennessee State University in the counseling psychology program. And I hope to afterwards become a licensed therapist and work with adolescents, young adults, specifically in minority groups and LGBTQ community.
Very good. All right, so the overview of CPI. If you don't remember anything, okay, nothing at all, the one thing I want you to take away is care, welfare, security, and safety. Okay? Care, welfare, safety, and security. That's the core value of CPI. That's why we do what we do. The entire reason behind CPI is right there. Care, welfare, security, and safety. We are an organization that works with people that are placed in our care. We have people from the community. We have our co-worker. Our co-workers' safety should be paramount to us. The client we serve, their safety, their care, their welfare, and security should be paramount to all of us. And even our co-workers, their safety, their security, care, and welfare should be just as important. So that's why we do what we do. Okay? And today you will be learning the correct way to do CPI. And when we hear the word CPI, What comes in mind? Just out of the box. If you hear the word CPI, what comes in mind?
Someone having like a meltdown, or is like really stressed out, so they're in like a kind of a crisis scenario where they're not in like the right state of mind, or like a normal state of mind for them.
Okay, very good. There's no right or wrong answer.
I think about having to restrain someone.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, that's the first thing I think about. It's like if somebody needs to be held, or
An extreme.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So now you see we have two different views. One person said when they hear the word CPI, they think about stress, somebody in stress, in dire stress. The other person said when I hear CPI, I think about restraint. So we have two different versions, right? Very good. That's why you're here. Because at the Elam Meharry Center, we do not restrain. We don't. We are totally hands off. We don't do that. We don't do any grabbing, okay? We want to keep the people that we serve safe, our co-workers, and everybody safe. So we do not restrain anybody, okay? All right, so the word CPI is just crisis prevention intervention. Crisis prevention intervention. Someone is stressed, they're acting out. There's always an underlying reason why something happened. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, they're just acting out. You know, that's just the normal way she behaves. No, there's always a hidden reason behind somebody's behavior. It's like I throw a half bag on top of the water and you will see it. Half of the bubbles go on top of the bag and another portion hangs under. So when you see the top part, it's just the bag with a bubble, right? You don't know what's under. Why the person is going through stress. It could be for numerous reasons. So that's why we do CPI. Okay? All right. So, again, like I stated, we will be working off of this flip chart, a decision-making matrix. It will be one of our activities. That's why you see the pink sheet in front of you. Okay? And then, after that, we'll have a discussion. And then you will do your little activities. We'll do our post-test. And we conclude. This class, I want it to be very, very, very interactive. I don't want people to think that, hey, I can just come and sit and listen to her, because I'm here to learn from you as much as you are here to learn about CPI. So please, 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 let us participate. Let us talk. I know with August, I don't have to say that twice. I don't have to say that twice to August, because he have a word. Not in a bad way. But yeah, he will participate. So I already know that from the day I met him up to now. So I don't have to ask him twice. He will jump in. So I like that. So with that said, we will now go down, please. Okay. All right. So stop right there. We already talked about the care, welfare, safety, and security. People who are in our care, the people that come here, you have a book in front of you. It's right there. It's right there. Right here. Right here. When we're talking about care, we talk about respect. We want to respect the people who are in our care. We want to make sure we treat them with dignity. We want to make sure we're empathetic. We also want to make sure we are people, person-centered. It's not about us. I tell people, leave your feelings at home. If you're having a bad day, which all of us do, sometimes we go through a bad day, could be from whatever, make sure we're leaving those feelings outside. When we come here, it's about them. It's about our co-workers. It's about our own safety. Leave the feelings out. Their welfare is paramount, is important. We maintain independence. We want to help them, but we don't want to be like we want to do everything for them. We want to help them through the process. We want to make sure that they're safe while they're here. We're protecting their rights. We're making sure we're minimizing harm to the people in our care. Their security, making sure that these people, they're safe, and whatever security we're providing, they're effective, is harmonious, and we're working in collaboration, a collaborative relationship between the client and us. So it's not always us telling them, you know, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. But rather, we collaborate with them. All right, the next thing we have here would be the crisis development model. If anyone is in a crisis, the first thing that's happening, they will have an anxiety. It could be moving up and down. It could mean banging on the table, just fidgeting. A lot of things could be going on with this person. So as a support staff, as an individual that work at Elam Center, you always want to make sure that you are supportive. You know, inquire from the person, is there anything I can do to help you? Have you been helped? In the lobby, you may be passing, and you see that this person is not behaving normal. They're pacing up and down. They're just shaking, they're banging, you know, maybe the table, tapping something. You want to just make sure you inquire from them. Are you okay? Are you being helped? Is everything okay? You're showing support for that person. Okay? Now, if the person becomes defensive with you, it could be in a group setting, it could be on a unit. You don't have to be defensive, but I know sometimes some people, some of us, we just cannot help it. When a person becomes defensive, what we do, their voice becomes louder, we become even louder than the person. It's like we're going into a yelling match with a person. You don't want to be that way. When a person becomes defensive, you become directive. Okay, you direct the person in a positive way. I'm just here, nobody been helping me, nobody looking at me. You know, they yell, you say, okay, sir, let me get some help for you. If you will please just calm down, then I can help you. And down the line, you will hear me use those words, those phrases, if and when you do this, then I will do this. You will hear me use those phrases around later on. Okay? Now, when the person started behaving risky, they're kicking, cheers, they're trying to hit you, they're trying to inflict harm upon themselves or something. What you do at that point, you provide a safety intervention. If there is anything that this person have laying around that they want to use to harm themselves or to harm the next person, another client, yourself, then please, by all means, make sure you remove those objects out of the way. If it's a chair or anything, remove it, because you want safety first. Okay? Don't go rushing and try to hold the person. Just remove the chairs from the way, or any objects that the person could use and throw and harm you. Like yesterday, I was telling August, we have this, what was that, an owl or something? The little metal.
Oh yeah, like a little metal owl ball decoration.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So I told him that right there, that's a weapon. While we may think it's a decoration, it's a weapon. So the person can use that because it's a metal. Even Scotch tape dispenser, they are weapon. Your cup, water cup, is a weapon. You think innocently about these things, you don't even think about it, that somebody could take that and harm you, but it's a safety issue, so just make sure. Flower pots, I have some in my office as well, but if I were taking client in there, which I don't do anymore, I have to be mindful of those things, okay? All right, tension reduction. This person at this point, they're trying to calm down, right? Because at first we know this person going through a lot of anxiety, they're moving up and down, you have provided support for them, and now they were becoming very defensive. I want this done now, and you came in and say, hey, I will help you. Okay, you gave them a directive. They try to still be risky. Now they're trying to take a chair and hit you. Okay, you provided safety intervention. You remove everything. Tension reduction. This person may start crying at this point because they know what they did was wrong. You try to do everything possible to help them. But once they reach this tension reduction, they might be crying, they might be apologetic. I'm so sorry for what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have behaved that way. I shouldn't have. I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. At this point, you have to build therapeutic rapport. You can go to the person and talk to them. Hopefully, they can see reason because now they're apologizing to you for their behavior. You can talk to them at this point. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. Now, it says, use the example previously defined, identify when you felt distressed or challenged by someone's behavior at work. Deconstruct that event using the crisis development model. What did you see when it escalated? What level of crisis behavior did the situation reach? How did other staff influence the crisis resolution with their approach? Share your response with your assigned partner. Of course, you just two. So we just went through the guiding philosophy. We went to the crisis development. Look at this example, this reflection, and then give us a situation using the crisis development model and tell me what level of crisis, of any situation that you have encountered. And then you can share your response.
So I think an example I have is a couple years ago when I was like in a sort of managerial position for like my department at my undergrad college. I had one of my staff wasn't really doing their work, wasn't really, stepping up like the rest of the team was. And when I initially confronted them with that and, it was coming from a, hey, we're part of a team here, they got very defensive. They got very, loud and yelling and were angry at me. And I think a lot of it was coming from just because they were being, pulled out for it. They thought they could kind of get by with it and not have it noticed. And so I just kept my tone low. I wasn't going to get angry. I understood that they were frustrated that they got called out for it, but I, reassured them that I was like, this isn't a gotcha moment. This isn't, I'm not trying to, dim your light or make it a bad situation. I want the, best for the department, and I want you to do your best, because I knew he could do a lot better than what he was doing at the time. And so it didn't reach any sort of level of throwing things, but he definitely got very mad, very defensive and yelling, and there were, everyone else was around, because this was in our beginning of the shift, so our kind of right off the bat sort of situation. So I think that was kind of an awkward situation for it say this in front of everyone. He felt like I was calling him out in front of people, other people were in a different area, and I was, keeping my tone short, lower. But yeah, it can be very interesting when it's someone you work with. I think a lot of the times we think of it just like an outside person or someone we don't know, but when it's someone you work with, you kind of already have that mutual rapport built up. At least in the understanding that you guys are in the same department and doing the same job. And I was like, we were like around the same age, I just was a higher position. So I just was like, I'm not, coming to it like trying to be a boss. It's like, hey, I know you to do this, and if you don't do that, then it comes back on me. The whole point of my position is to make sure people do what they're supposed to do while I do my thing. So I definitely tried to do those implementations of being direct, keeping my voice low, trying to be as supportive as I can. Like, I understand where you're coming from, I understand why you feel this way, but this is also how it has to be.
Okay. So let me just ask August. On the crisis module, where do you think that person was? Was they being defensive? Were they going through some kind of anxiety, risky behavior, tension reduction? I want you to go through the whole process with me. From the time the things started happening, tell me all the levels you went through.
So I think definitely at the start it was anxiety because I think they knew they hadn't done their stuff, and I always checked up on the tasks before I leave for the day, and I was usually the last one out. So I think when I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second, they already were a little anxious. They definitely, knew they hadn't done their job. And then they started getting defensive when I was, coming to with the issue and weren't being that receptive kind of person. And I was trying to be, direct, trying to be supportive. I don't think I got to too much of a risk behavior because they weren't trying to throw stuff at me, but they certainly were unnaturally angry for the kind of person they are, because they were usually a relatively calm person, a very chill person. And then I think tension reduction definitely happened when I was able to when they kind of got over their initial emotions, their initial defensiveness of this, and I was, being direct and trying to be like, hey, I'm not saying you're bad at your job. Everyone has those days where they don't want to do something or they want to leave early. I'm just coming to you as on a similar level. I'm not trying to talk down to you. And since we were coworkers, we kind of already had that, rapport going. So once they kind of got over their initial defensive emotions, it's a lot easier to kind of mend that situation.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay.
Yeah, so my situation, I was at my undergrad field placement, and there was a client who went through some almost fatal traumatic experiences, and so she was very protective of her identity. And though she had communicated with previous staff about not putting her first and last name on roll sheet, when I was given, the names put on roll sheet and everything, it was on there. And so once class had started for the evening, she confronted me, and it was really big. So it was, I did not see any anxiety when she came to me. It was just defense. So it caused a disturbance to the class. And she wanted to talk with the director that was there, which was my supervisor. And so all three of us was there. She had more rapport with the director than myself. And he was there to, just kind of, mediate. But it was so big that he just told me, hey, you can go back to the office and I'll handle it. And the whole time, I just remained silent. because there was really, I knew that I needed to exhibit self-control because it was something that I was just like, whoa, you know. So I was just like, let me just be quiet. I'm going to let him handle it. So then I went back to the office. And then later on, she came back in for tension reduction. And she apologized. And she said, I know that's not your fault. You didn't know. But let me give you background on why I reacted this way. And she told me what happened. And then then she asked me, now what would you do if you were in that situation? I said, well, I understand.
She turned it around.
All right.
I said, well, I can see where you're coming from, and I understand. So we had a discussion, and we had better rapport even moving forward after that incident. So.
All right, very good, very good. All right, so I'm so glad that the both of you were able to share your story, and thank you for that. But I heard some things, some phrases that were used. I understand. Write that somewhere, we'll discuss it. I understand. The word I understand, that's a no-no.
Okay.
You don't understand because you don't know my underlying reason for my anger. You don't know where I'm coming from. So that could even escalate it more. How do you mean you understand you have never been in jail? How do you understand you've never been raped? How do you understand your only child have not been killed? How do you understand you're not a mother? How do you say to me you understand? It can escalate even further. Okay? So just keep in mind when there's a crisis going on, when you're going to talk to the person, don't say, hey, I understand. Say, I can only imagine what you are going through or what you've been through. I have no idea. I can only imagine. Okay? That sometimes can calm the rough sea because you don't understand. Because there's always an underlying reason why somebody behaves the way they behave. It could be in the grocery store, it could be on the highway, it could be anywhere. There's always a reason behind the actions. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. The integrated experience means that, number one, change happens when you can control the behavior. Behavior influences behavior. Okay? Somebody being loud, you become loud, that influences their behavior even more. Okay? You cannot control anybody's behavior. There's no way. You can only control your behavior. You should always match the other person's behavior. Now, if they're talking like real loud, please don't go say, I want to yell with you. It's not a yelling match. Okay? If somebody don't want, you don't want to yell with them. Yet it says you should always match the other person's behavior. Be mindful. Okay? Because if I'm going to punch you, don't try to go punch me back. Safety first. But we'll talk about that later on. Next slide, please. But match their behavior, you see. So, do not go into a, what do you call it, yelling match with them. Always keep in mind, behavior influences behavior. Okay? You don't have control over what somebody do. So just be yourself. Next slide, please. All right. So we're going to have a little case study here. We have healthcare, education, human services. So what facility are we in? What will you label this facility as?
It's all three. It's all three. We do all three here.
Yes, but we're not a school.
Okay.
We're not into Department of Children's Services. Here, I would more so look at, we can either go with help human services because we're serving people. Also, we can say healthcare because we're on a hospital campus, right? Okay, let's move down, please. Next slide. All right. So we have a healthcare. We're going to look at the healthcare, and then we're also going to look at the human services. A patient waits to meet with a doctor. She's pacing up and down, fidgeting with her phone, and constantly asking the receptionist, "Where is the doctor?" A nurse comes to collect preliminary information regarding her symptoms. When asked to have an x-ray taken, the patient immediately becomes verbally abusive. She refuses the procedure and argues, "You just want to waste my time with this unnecessary test." She belittles the nurse by calling her stupid and saying, "None of you know what you're doing." So Elam Center will operating from two different backgrounds. We have nurses here, which makes it health care. And then on the other end, we're looking at human services. Okay? Now, the nurses here, even though we don't have like the doctor sitting right there, but our people do meet doctors when they're here. We have psychiatrists that they talk to. Okay? So the person could have an appointment with a clinic. I've experienced it. Somebody have walked up here, the clinic have moved. The clinic is now across the street. They come here, they're angry because they already been to the hospital. Somebody told them to come to Elam Center. They came to Elam Center. Then somebody telling them you have to go back to the hospital. So at this point, how do you think that's going to make them feel? They're mad. I had to come and say, "Okay, I apologize, but the clinic is no longer here. The clinic have relocated, and I can point you in a direction." They were mad, but once I said that, I offered a support to them. It was an older guy and his wife. You could see they were really frail, and they've been walking up and down, they're tired. They weren't ready to go back to the hospital for somebody to tell them, "No, you got to go back to Elam." So at this point, I just pointed them across the street. I said, "That's where the clinic is located. Problem solved." Okay? All right. Now, what you think in this case would be the nurse behavior? Again, from the module standpoint. Somebody call her stupid. You know, you don't know what you're doing. If you were the nurse, what would you say?
Number 2, directive.
Directive. Let me hear your directive. You're going to give her.
Ooh.
You don't know what you're doing. Where's the doctor? I need to see the doctor. I've been here for a while. I'm tired.
Maybe I could say, "Yes, ma'am. Once I am finished with the x-ray, then I will see about the doctor coming as soon as
Okay, August, let me hear you very quickly. There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
I just want to hear what you think.
Yeah, I think I would say, I guess I don't know what the patient is dealing with. So I guess I would say like, to be direct, like something like this x-ray is necessary for your health, and if I knew like the doctor's schedule, I could be like, and the doctor will be right with you afterwards. I don't,
I trust you are doing.
I mean, you could also add like, try not to say understand.
Okay, let me step in.
Yeah.
First, right there, we have an anxiety going on. A lot of anxiety going on. I told you guys about the underlying cause for every crisis. She comes in, she waits to meet with the doctor. She's pacing up and down, she's fidgeting. So you know that's an anxiety going on with her. But we don't know the underlying reason for her behavior, right? This lady could be hungry, she could be tired, she could be homeless. A lot of things could be going on with her, right? She comes here, maybe she's been here before. And every time she comes, she don't get the kind of attention she needs. And she comes again. And then she gets the same behavior or attitude from people. You see what I'm saying? Or she's in a rush. She's trying to go back to work. Make sense? So there's always a reason behind the attitude. Remember that. There's always. Now she comes, it's not you. She called the nurse stupid. She belittles the person. You could be a therapist. The person will tell you, you don't know what you're doing. You know, you don't know what you're doing. Why are you even teaching me this kind of group? Why are you talking about this? You don't know anything. You know. So you have to keep in mind that anger, 99.9% is not directed at you. It's not personal. So don't take it personal. Okay? This person is frustrated, as you can see. So the nurse in this situation, her concern should be caring for this person. No? Get in the caring mode. Try to find out, can I help you with anything? You don't always have to be the nurse. Another person could come. You don't need a power struggle. You don't need that power struggle. A co-worker could step in and ask, what's going on? Is there anything I can do to help? She might say, oh, okay, I've been here too long, XYZ, nobody talking to me. Okay, let me see what I can do to help you. Would you need a cup of water, a bottle of water? Go get her a bottle of cold water. Come walk with me. They can walk with you. Because this first nurse that they're talking to, they already target this nurse. So this nurse don't need to come and say, why you call me stupid? You are the one stupid. They already jump into it. Remember, behavior influences behavior. You cannot control how somebody is going to behave. But you can control your own behavior. So always keep that in the back of your mind. You don't control anybody's behavior. You control yours. If she calls you stupid, and you go back and call her stupid because you want to, match up her behavior, it only escalate. Okay? All right, next slide, please. Next slide. We're not in education. Okay, human service. Okay, we work in a human services facility as well. We serve people. A client waits to meet with his case manager after riding the bus for over an hour. Due to his intellectual disabilities, he often becomes frustrated when trying to communicate his needs. He's pacing, he's fidgeting with his phone, constantly asking the receptionist, where is his case manager? The case manager arrives to discuss his support plan. While reviewing the plan, the client accuses the case manager of treating him like a baby because he feels the plan is too restrictive. The client continues screaming and making statements such as, you just want to control me and you cannot make me. You cannot make me. That statement right there, she's already jumped in the defensive mode. You cannot make me. She's already challenging the case manager. Straight up. We went from one to 2 already. She didn't take anything and threw it on anybody, but she went from pacing up and down to going to the defensive mode. You guys are interning here. You will run into a situation one day in a classroom. You create a treatment plan, an adult, male, female. You might find yourself in a situation. It may not be the person pacing up and down, but it could be the person challenging you. Keep that in mind. You're always here. Our duty to care for them, their welfare, their safety, and security. That's why we're here. We're not here to tell them what to do. We are here to support them be successful. That's where we are. Again, remember, behavior influences behavior. You cannot control anybody's behavior, but you can control your behavior. You don't want to match their behavior. Okay, if they're screaming and yelling, you can't make me. Oh, yes, I will make you. Oh, yes, this treatment plan, you will take it. Already, you're trying to match their behavior. Okay? All right. When it becomes defensive, you always want to be directive. How do you think, Miss Little Jean, that this treatment plan is restrictive? How is it restrictive? How do you see it being restrictive? Because again, remember, this person right here, this client, they just rode a bus for over an hour to get here. They could be tired. They could be hungry, angry, remember? Halt. Angry. Hungry. Lonely. Tired. Everything is wrapped around their behavior. Okay? Because you don't know what's going on with them. The person could be here based on probation. You know, probation ordered them to be here. The court system ordered them to be here. They got to do this. They don't have a car. They had to ride a bus. They left their job. They're here. Everything influences the behavior. There's always an underlying reason why people behave the way they behave. Even at home, crisis can happen between family, between siblings, between mom and dad, between brothers and sisters, and aunties and uncles, you know, co-workers. Crisis can happen anywhere. So it's not just limited to the people we serve. You can go to the grocery store, a crisis can happen. Somebody cut you off in the line. What do? You're not going to be pacing up and down, but you might just get straight to the defense mode. Why did you cut me down? It happens. People drive on the highway, somebody cut you off. What do? You don't go in no anxiety mode. You jump straight to the defense. Why you cut in front of me? You chase the person down the highway, and then maybe you end up in a crash. It happens. So at that point, that's a risky behavior. You're chasing the person down the highway, you're cutting everybody else. You might cause an accident. You might cause somebody their life. So crisis is just not limited to Elam Center. Crisis could happen anywhere. That's why you are learning the core value. Why we do what we do. That's why you always want to keep in mind from module 1 all the way to forward, what is going on with this person. This person becomes very defensive. Okay, I can walk away. That's one thing I can do. It will solve all the problem. Walk away. If you're able to walk away. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. All right. Activity questions. What behavior level of crisis did you see? What staff approach would you take? What will you say or do?
In the situation we just had.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I saw anxiety when they were pacing back and forth and fidgeting, and then the defense when they say you can't control me, you can't make me. So, what staff approach would I take? I like what you gave. The example you gave, what begin asking them about the plan. So what do you think about the plan? Why do you think it's restrictive? Well, how can we make adjustments to the plan to make you feel more comfortable? And listen a lot, and then make the changes that they want to make.
All right. Okay. It's because we what? We collaborate with the clients. We collaborate with them. We are their collaborators. Okay, we want to collaborate with them and not here to tell them. Because when you create the treatment plans, you make sure we have 3 things that is going to be constant. You're going to have your substance abuse, co-occurrent, and relapse prevention. Those 3 things are constant. Any other thing is an addition. If it's grief, if it's anger, if it's any other thing, it's in addition to the plan. But if you wrote up this treatment plan without their engagement, involvement into creating the treatment plan, that could have been the reason why they were saying it's too restrictive. Because you never sat with them and discussed their plan. Make sense? Because if we get them involved into creating the treatment plan, we probably wouldn't have had this issue. That is restrictive because you were here with me. Because we did assessment, we diagnosed them, we know all the situations surrounding, what brought them here during our assessment period. So why would you want to do the treatment plan in their absence? Maybe, because it didn't say that clearly, but I'm just saying that could have been the reason why she was mad. Because she said to the person, it's too restrictive. So that word right there tells me the client may not have been involved in the creation of the treatment plan, because then we wouldn't have the issue. Okay? All right. So, August, what would you have done? Quickly.
I think similarly, I would have said something along the lines of like, what can I do to support you? What components of this plan do you think work for you? What components don't? Like you said, there were indications that maybe they didn't get to say, and they talked about how it can be difficult for them to express their feelings. So I think giving those direct questions of what part of the plan is too restrictive, what part of this plan do you feel is unfair, or what would you add or subtract, and making those direct questions about the support plan, but also asking them about their emotions towards treatment, because if they are having a hard time normally communicating emotions, if you ask, sometimes, not always, but sometimes if you ask more directly about their emotions associated with treatment, you can get more information. I think sometimes people assume that someone's going to communicate their emotions when they have them, but that's not always the case. Even for people that don't have disability issues, not everyone is, emotionally healthy to communicate. So I think if the case manager would be like, why do you feel this way around this plan? What sort of things can we change to make you feel better? How can I support you in this plan? And kind of, like you said, make it more of a collaborative, two-way street rather than them feeling like they are being talked down to, they're being micromanaged. So kind of reestablishing that therapeutic rapport.
Okay. All right. Because they can feel, you put them in a mode where they feel safe, that they can talk to you. You give them some directive. They were being defensive. You became directive. You're asking questions. What part of this treatment plan you don't agree with. But you always want to make sure when you're creating the treatment plan, it's collaborative. You're not doing it and then shoving it down their throat. It will not work. So I'm thinking that's what happened in this particular situation when she was saying it's too restrictive. So the first thing that comes to mind is she was not involved. Because if she was involved from the beginning, she would not have used those words to say it's too restrictive. And then she went straight on the defense. Okay, all right, next slide, please. Okay, we already moved to the next one. Okay. Integrated experience, we've already talked about the crisis development behavior levels and the staff attitude and the approaches. So move down, please. Okay. It says, review the key concept in your workbook in the space provided. Identify why is this information important to what you do. Think and write. Remember, we've been through 2 different case studies, right? In your book, you can write. There's a space in your book you can write. Okay? Why is this information, this whole crisis, prevention, intervention, what we do, why is it important to do what you do, the work you do? Okay? How can you use this information? Write 2 to 3 ways you can apply this information. Okay? Be prepared to share your responses. So I will give you a minute or 2, then you can do that. Let me check the time. All of us, you done? Okay, go ahead and share your responses, please.
So it's under the key concepts it has integrated experience, so behavior influences behavior, being aware, and remaining in control. So I said to things we talked about before, like keeping calm, keeping my voice low, being direct, no, I understand statements. For factors influencing a person's behavior, I said acknowledge how outside factors have affected both of us, both parties, because, like you said before, there's an underlying cause for them, but even though I might not be in a crisis, I don't feel a crisis situation, their behavior might, trigger something within me, or it might remind me of something that happened this morning that at the time wasn't a big deal, but now that a situation is happening, the internal emotions are happening. So, you know, think about how where each person is coming from, and having that self-awareness to remain calm. And then for under rational detachment, recognizing the need to remain professional by managing your own behavior and attitude. I said, don't take in the content. So if they're saying, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing, don't take that in word-wise, take in the emotion of it. So understand where the emotion's coming from. Don't take in like the pure content, and kind of just let those, you know, abrasive words kind of like roll off. Don't like intake it, because then you won't be at that level of anger. Like you won't be angry back.
Don't take it. Yeah, don't take it personal.
Exactly.
It's not personal at all.
You won't be yelling at them or anything. You'll just be like, they don't mean this. It's look at the emotion. They're angry. They're upset. They're anxious.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. All right.
So for me, the integrated experience, I said it's important because I'm working with people, and I need to uphold ethical code and just respecting people. So how I can do that is listening and being supportive and not becoming defensive. For precipitating factors, I said it's important because of self-awareness and bias control. So one way I can do that is taking time to process what's happening. And then even I can talk with, another thing I thought about, I can talk with like a supervisor, something like that.
Exactly.
To help me deal with it. Rational detachment is important for professionalism. It's reflecting the social work field and it's reflecting the organization. And yeah, I agree with August, like not taking anything personal.
It's not personal.
Yeah.
Key factor: behavior influences behavior. There's always an underlying cause or reason why people behave the way they behave. Okay? Because you never know. Do not assume that you know what's going on. And don't try to match their behavior. Always, always be in that supportive mode. Do not feel like you can control everything. Always get help. If you can't handle the situation, get another person. And you can move yourself away. Don't try to be, like the last class I had, I told the person, don't try to be that Shaolin master or whatever, you're jumping in the way. Hey, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if a crisis is going on, somebody try to hit somebody, you might just, don't do that. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't try to be the hero of the movie. Just get help, call your supervisor and anybody you need to get to come and help you. Do not get in the power struggle. If you walk everywhere in this facility, I said use CPI. Unplug the power struggle. You're not in competition with anybody but yourself. So don't try to get into any type of struggle with anybody. The power struggle trap. These people will push your buttons. They will push it. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so causes of behavior. In groups, identify precipitating factors. Choose from the list below or write your own based on your experiences with people you interacted with. Write the factors in the causes of behavior column. Determine how you can positively impact the precipitating factors. Write your responses in the positive impact column. You have your book. Some of the behavior causes: impaired cognitive ability, impaired communication skills, fear or worry, feeling unheard, trauma or previous life experience, PTSD, receive bad news, phobias and anxiety, limited feeling of control, pain, physical or emotional, unmet needs, hungry or thirsty, noisy or stressful environment, running late. I talked about some of these things before we even got to the slides, right? There's always an underlying cause for any behavior. Yesterday, in what is that? Relapse prevention, right? We talk about HALT, the HALT model. When somebody is hungry, they're angry, they're tired, they're lonely, trust me, a lot could go on. So, here, we already discussed some of the experiences or precipitating factors that could lead to behavior. We discussed those already. When I talk about somebody, the guy on the bus coming to the facility and fidgeting, asking for the doctor, calling the nurse stupid. Any of this could have been the reason. The person, you can tell me from here, from the cases that we've studied, tell me where any of this could have probably faded. The 2 case studies we've had.
The impaired cognitive ability was the second case study. The person who had the
Speak up because we're recording.
for the second case study, the first one, the impaired cognitive ability. When the person was saying you can't control me, it's too restrictive. It was saying they had intellectual disability. Fear or worry could have been for the first one, when the woman was saying, you don't know what you're doing, the nurse, you don't know what you're doing, and she kept on asking for the doctor. Feeling unheard, she probably felt unheard. And then she might have even had a trauma or previous life experience that could have caused her to react that way to the nurse.
Okay, very good. August?
I would say for the second one, I agree with the cognibility and adding to that the limited feeling of control. They were talking about not like feeling like they were being talked down to, they were feeling restricted, so they feel like they don't have that control over the situation, so that probably adds to the stress along with impaired cognitive ability. And for the first one, like you said before, unmet needs can be anyone's.
Yes.
Turn the most calm person into like sort of crisis scenario. They could have also been, either of the people could have been running late. You know, a lot of times I know personally, if I'm scheduling doctor's appointments, it's in the middle of a work day usually, because doctor's offices are only open during work hours, but you can't take a whole day off usually to go to just one appointment. So they want to either get back to work, or like the second one, he had to do, if he's taking the bus to get somewhere, he has a bus schedule to meet. So who knows how frequently that bus comes.
Yes.
He could be, if he misses a bus by just a couple minutes, he might have to wait an hour, it depends upon how that sort of thing goes. So, for the one at the doctor's office, could be, along with the fear word, could be worried about receiving bad news, because if you're at the doctor's office doing tests and stuff, you're looking for something. It didn't seem like it was a regular checkup. It seemed like she was trying to get checked out for something, so she could have that fear and worry about the situation because she's worried about hearing bad news. And like Jasmine said, there could be previous life experience with doctors, either they personally had, or how they've seen their own loved ones be treated, and they may not feel like that person's doing the correct care or effort.
Okay, all right, very good. And even the person having limited feeling of control. What can I do? I don't have control over the x-ray. I can't give it to myself. So that frustration of even waiting, because if I could do it, I just go do it myself. But I don't have control over that. So that could frustrate somebody too. Okay. Unmet needs, yes. We don't know where the person traveled from. Hunger, thirst. That's when we talk about the halt. Okay. Even though we didn't talk about it in crisis, but I'm seeing if somebody is hungry, it can be a factor. All right, very good. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right. We already talked about the key points here. What key points to remember? We talk about it. For your takeaway, August, tell me one thing you took away from the case study, from what we just discussed. One key point.
One key point, to not take it personally and to be as supportive as you can, and that even includes getting someone else if you don't think you can solve their problem, or if you can see that they're kind of done with you. You know, they might be too mad at you to for you to solve it. Even if you do have the answer, they might not want to hear it from you. So.
Okay. All right, lady. Key points.
I would say making sure that I'm listening and asking as many questions as I can to see what the person might need, and then doing my best to meet those needs. Asking for help if I need help.
Active listening. Yes. Active listening. Don't take it personal. It's not personal. Again, behavior influences behavior. There's always an underlying cause for behavior. You want to make sure that it's not personal. Okay, next slide, please. Communication. How do we communicate is very important. Can somebody tell me some of the ways we communicate? Some of the ways we communicate.
Body language.
Body language, yes.
You're listening.
Listening, yes.
Our words, our tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indirectly, directly.
Non-verbal communication, your body language, the way I stand, could communicate. You know, either I'm ready to be on the move, my body, my posture, proximity, the way I'm standing. You know, if I stand and fold my arm like this, it's non-verbal. But if I say, don't come close to me, it's verbal. If I put my two hands on my hips, I'm communicating something. Okay? Make sense? Okay? If I start doing that, I'm still communicating without talking. These are all nonverbal communications. Communication is two-way street. I give it, you give it back to me. I say something, you respond. Whether it's verbal, whether it's nonverbal, but it's a two-way street. Okay? So when somebody is having an anxiety going on, they're communicating to you. It's something they're trying to tell you. Okay? They're communicating. They're pacing up and down, they're communicating. It's not verbal, it's nonverbal communication. So at that point, staff attitude should always be, staff approach should always be supportive. Okay? All right. Review the key concept in your workbook. Use the space provided. Respond to the following questions. What are some ways you can improve your own nonverbal communication? How will you adjust your verbal and paraverbal communication when working with someone who is escalating a behavior? They're not saying it, they're showing some actions to you, you know. Give an example of how paraverbal communication can contribute to misinterpretation of the message. I'm not saying anything, but behavior-wise, I could be hungry, I could be thirsty, I could be in pain. Okay? And always remember, there is no right or wrong answer. I just want you to participate because we do discuss. We will take a break in 5 minutes. We'll take a 10 minutes break. No right or wrong answer. We want participation. Just keep in mind all the things we've discussed. Okay? All the things we're discussing is like we're layering. That's what we're doing. We are layering right from the care, welfare, safety, and security, and then we move to the crisis, development. So we are layering one after another. All right, who's ready to go first? Or are you still thinking?
So for the first one, I said for like me personally, I'm a very fidgety person. I fidget with my hands a lot and stuff. So at least in a crisis situation, that also could be, since that already is like an anxiety thing. I don't do it out of anxiety, it's just busy hands. But if I do that if I'm fidgeting with my hands in front of the person, they might think I'm not paying attention. They might think I'm trying to get out of there, or I'm trying to leave them, or I don't want to be there with them. So that's like something to change. And for adjusting verbal and paraverbal communication, I said like for paraverbal, keep a calm, easygoing tone, speak in a normal rhythm, don't speak too fast, don't speak too slow. Because fast, this kind of answers the third one, but if you speak fast, you can get misinterpreted. People might think you said something else, or they didn't hear all of what you said, so they kind of draw their own conclusions. And if you speak too slow, they might think you're trying to dumb it down for them,
And
or you're speaking them.
you said something, August. You said you have a busy hands, right? When you're talking, your hands move. So somebody who is angry and I'm talking, I'm doing, they might think he was all up in my face.
Yeah.
He was in my face. He almost hit me.
Yeah.
But he didn't. That's just the way he communicates.
Yeah.
Some people, they just sit there and look at you like they're listening. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're listening. But he wasn't even paying attention to me. She wasn't paying attention. She was just like, she didn't even care. She was looking somewhere else. But you were listening.
Yeah.
So nodding, okay? Nodding. Let the person know, hey, I can imagine. I don't understand. If you understand it, say it to yourself. Don't tell the person you understand. Because you don't.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, I think for me, what I can improve on is like staying attentive. So sometimes I can kind of, if somebody says one thing, I can kind of think on that and how to respond, but I'm missing something else. Or my mind can go off a little bit sometimes.
Okay.
Especially if it's like a really long conversation.
Uh-huh.
So, like, attentiveness, I can improve on. I'm good, but, I can be better.
Okay.
And then number 2, how you adjust your verbal and paraverbal communication with escalating behavior. Yeah, I think just making sure I remain calm, calm voice. I think, like, that's one of the best things that I can do.
Okay. Very good. All right. I like the fact you said listen, because sometimes when the communication becomes so well drawn out, people tend to forget. It's like your mind, your brain leaves your head and they go somewhere else. And then you're just sitting there, you're hearing this thing, but you're not really comprehending things. So you want to make sure you're actively listening to the person, what they're saying. You're nodding, letting them know, hey, I'm here. I can hear you. Okay? Don't be like all over the place. If that's how you communicate, then you need to work on reducing that because it can send the wrong message. If you're somebody who always talk and stand like this, like, okay, I'm ready for anything. You're talking to the person, they're like, I don't care, just hurry up, let me go. Yeah. You're communicating, but it's nonverbal. All right, so we talk about the positioning before, the way you stand to somebody, the distance you have, between you and the person. We did talk about non-verbal communication. We talk about verbal. And the way you stand, it commands respect. When you stand, the way you stand, it commands respect. It shows, respect. You're not here to tell them, okay, I'm the authority. I'm the boss. The way you communicate with your body language. Okay? All right. Go down, let's see. Responding to a defensive behaviors. Okay. The person become defensive. What we do? I become defensive. What do you do? Oh, okay. Become defensive, what do? You be direct, right? As I stated earlier, I said everything we're learning here, we're layering. Care, welfare, safety, security. Then we move to the crisis development module. Okay? You have your anxiety, you have your defense, you have your risky behavior, you have your tension reduction. That will be the client's behavior. As the staff person, your attitude will be to provide support for the person when they're going through an anxiety. They become defensive, you become directive. Okay? They start behaving in a risky way. Your place will be to intervene and do safety intervention. If there is anything laying around that will create harm to you, to the person, to your colleagues, remove everything. Then when the person starts to cry, they're mellowing down, they realize what they did was wrong, then you have therapeutic rapport. You can talk to them because this time they're reasoning. Okay? So, when a crisis starts, the person will start questioning you. Okay? Why should I do this? They question you. They question you. Okay? You don't know what you're doing. Why are you even teaching me? Who employed you? Why are you even here? They start to question you. Okay? Then you're going to move to your refusal. I'm not doing this, but everything is tied into the defense mechanism. Okay? Everything they're doing. So they refuse. They're refusing. Whatever you tell them, you can't make me. Remember that lady who said, you can't make me? Okay? Hey, you don't have to fight with them. You can release yourself. You can move yourself away. You don't have to fight. If they're refusing, you can't make them do anything they don't want to do. Okay? They might even be intimidating you. We will look at, a little bit down the line, we will look at where they intimidate. They even intimidate you. Okay? Once they go through this full circle, when they're in a defensive mode, they will question, they will refuse. You don't have to get in no match with them. They will even intimidate you. And then they will move to tension reduction. So it's a whole circle. Once that person gets into that defense mode, they go through that whole little kite. The person did a very good job. I can't even draw like that. All right, next slide, please. Okay. So when they go to the verbal escalation continuum, again, think of an example of defensive behavior you experienced recently at work. Using the verbal escalation continuum in your workbook categorize the behavior. What specific behaviors did the person in distress demonstrate? You have your workbook. So, were the person in a questioning mode? Were they in a refusal mode? Were they intimidating? Release, tension reduction, because they go through the whole circle. So you think about a situation, and then in your workbook, and you tell me, because we're trying to keep up with the time. I'm trying to keep my promise.
So I'm just going to go back to my example I used before. They definitely questioned my authority because we have an overall boss. So they were like, why should I listen to you? Because we were the same age. And it's like, well, fair point. It's like, why should you listen to me? And wasn't really hearing my, like, they were like, no, it was fine that they were like denying a lot of, that we didn't get the job done. They were like, no, I did do that. I don't know what you're talking about. And like the release side of it, the getting angry, like the book says, like, not really screaming, but like the venting and the getting angry. And I don't know if I had a lot of intimidation, but I think just a general situation where someone is like angry at you and maybe you weren't expecting that can be kind of intimidating. And then tension reduction when they, got their feelings out and started to hear like the direct phrases I was saying where I'm like, I'm not against you, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, this isn't a gotcha, this is like I'm coming to you because it's part of my job to make sure everything's getting done. And I hope you understand that I don't think you're a bad worker, I think you're a good worker, and that's why I'm coming to you with this, because I know you can do a good job at this. And I just, want us to be able to, have a good work day,
Okay.
So that's kind of an example of going all the way around that defensive height.
Okay, all right. Okay, Pam?
So for me, I use the same example too. So questioning, I think it might have been in between the rational and challenging because she wanted to know why was her name on the roll sheet. And then the refusal, she did refuse to cooperate with us, which was to lower her voice, to not be a disturbance to the class that was happening, and to go into a different area to be more quiet. So she was refusing that. And she was releasing a lot of like verbal and emotional outbursts. She was pretty, she got kind of hysterical a little bit because of it. I don't think she was intimidating though.
Okay.
But we did move down to the tension reduction.
Okay. I mean, not every time someone is in a crisis, they're going to intimidate, but sometimes they may. Okay? They might intimidate you, and you will see as we move along. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so we already identified the defensive behavior and corresponding staff intervention. So, your intervention very quickly from your scene story, August.
So my corresponding staff intervention, I was trying to be supportive, trying to be like, we're a team here, this is what I see happen from my perspective, this is what I hope to get out of this interaction, and made it clear that I was coming to him at the same level, and I wasn't trying to talk down to him. I just wanted, I want resolution, I want to make sure we can have a good work day. So that kind of supportive and directive
Okay.
sort of intervention. And that way we could get to a point where we were back to a two-way street, two-way understanding and had that good rapport.
So, at the very end, did you build a rapport with the person?
Yeah, I think so. I think once we got back down to that tension reduction stage, we were able to build that rapport back up because he understood that I wasn't, coming for his character, wasn't coming for his work ability or anything. Like we got to a point where he wasn't as angry anymore, wasn't defensive, and we understood each other more. So we kind of built that relationship.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, my intervention was I allowed my supervisor to handle it. So, and I gave space of the proximity so she wouldn't feel like, oh, it's 2 against 1. So I gave space, I had open body language, and I was just quiet. I just kind of was observing everything and listening. And then once it got back down to the tension reduction, I listened to her, and I just kind of like, I tried to give her user-friendly language, supportive language, and accepted her apology to move forward, on a clean slate.
What supportive language did you give?
I can't remember everything, but yeah, I can't really remember everything, but I know because I was a student intern, she told me months before that she would never have a meeting with me. So for her to come into my office alone and have a conversation with me, in my mind I was like, you just had a meeting. Okay. But I didn't say that to her. So I was, I felt like by the end we had some rapport. Yeah.
Well, with her, that was good. You said to her you understood, but it doesn't work with everybody. Okay? You said to her, I understand. For her, it was okay. But majority of people, you don't understand. So I think that's where that rapport came in from back then when. With her. I'm not saying that work with everybody. All right. Let's like this. Okay. Activity 1. Beatrice tells staff to just hurry up and do your damn job and ask, do you even know what you are doing? What is the defensive behavior? What is the staff intervention? Be specific. What would you do? Again, crisis major, I want us to use the language we're learning because we're layering up. So, very quickly, where is Beatrice? Just hurry up and do your damn job.
Her defensive behavior is verbal. And
do you even know what you're doing? Kite, hint, hint, kite.
Oh, challenge.
The questioning.
Yeah, the challenging question. Yeah, the challenging.
Kite. Okay.
And for what is the staff intervention? It should be like directed like, I'm trying to do this for you, or what would you like me to do for you, or is there anything additional I can help you with? And kind of, I think it's really easy from a staff perspective to be like, I do know what I'm doing. Like, but then that's getting defensive.
Behavior influences behavior.
Yeah. So it's kind of approached it with, how can I do my job to like, how can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need from me? So kind of bring it on make it so you sound open and receptive to compromise.
It's okay. If you tell me I don't know how to do my damn job, it's okay. I know within myself, I know I can do my job. I don't need that validation. So I don't have to come and say, well, what do you mean I don't know how to do my damn job? I don't need to ask you all those questions. I already know that's why I'm here, or else I would have been fired a long time ago. So we don't need to get in that power struggle, right? In this case, Beatrice is being very, very defensive. She's being defensive and questioning. Okay? Hurry up. You don't know what you're doing. Do your damn job. Okay? All right. And when they're in that questioning mode, They're in a defensive questioning mode. We always want to be direct. How may I help you? What can I do to make it better? Okay? Collaboration is key. You want a person to have a buy-in. If I've been waiting in the lobby for so long and nobody have asked me, I'm mad. You guys don't know how to do your damn job. Why am I even here? Hurry up. Let me fill this form. If somebody who can write really fast and they have to fill out a form, I will call that person to come in and do it for them. Whatever I can do to make it easier, then I can get somebody else. Because sometimes when I first started working here, I used to wear a coat suit every day. Skirt, coat suit, pants, coat suit. One of the kids told me, just by looking at me, it reminds them of their probation or their attorney. So they were always angry. So remember, there's an underlying cause for behavior. So by looking at me, it reminded them. Underlying cause for the behavior. So whatever rudeness or anger they may have towards that probation officer or attorney is transferred to me. So Beatrice's behavior here, just hurry up, do your damn job. Probably been waiting for a long time, probably hungry, probably tired. Okay? And the staff should always be, when they become defensive, you become directive. Okay? That's where we are. Become defensive, become directive. We went back where they had this anxiety behavior. We supported them. Now they moved down to the defense. We'll be directive. Okay? All right. Next match, please. Okay. Theo becomes aggressive and makes threatening statements like, you better watch your back. I'm going to mess you up. Again, what level of crisis? I'm going to mess you up. You better watch your back. Where are we?
Risk behavior and intimidation.
Intimidation. You're threatening me. Okay? You're threatening me. You're intimidating. So I don't take it lightly. I'm going to mess you up. That's a call for alarm. Because then, if you're sitting in my office, I'm going to mess you up. I better start removing some things out of the way. Because I don't know what's going to happen. Anytime a risky behavior, anything could happen. So my intervention from this point, they're being aggressive. Aggression, be physical. Now they're trying to maybe grab things. So what I do, safety intervention. Got to start moving things out of the way. Okay? All right. What is the defensive behavior? What is the staff intervention? Be specific. What will you do? Very quickly. That was mine. What will you do?
I would like alert someone, like maybe alert some sort of like supervisor or security person if I don't think I can handle the situation. I'm a short person and I'm not very strong, so I think it'd be pretty easy to intimidate me. So and you know, that proximity thing, maybe remove yourself.
Position, posture, and proximity. Okay? You can release yourself. You can move yourself away, get somebody else. You can get your supervisor. But at Elam Center, we just, first point of contact, unless you weren't able to reach your supervisor, then. Say you're working at night by yourself, that's a different thing. But call your co-worker to see if somebody else can come and help you. If that don't absolutely work, then you get your supervisor. And explain to your supervisor, this is what's going on. They came in, they were pacing up and down. You know, we try to support them. We said this, you know, what can I do? You explain the whole thing. Then they became very defensive. You know, they were intimidating, they were threatening me, what they were going to do. Okay? Now, this person is becoming very aggressive. Okay? They're becoming aggressive. They were grabbing a chair, they were grabbing a cup, etc. Explain that to your supervisor. If your supervisor is able to talk to the person, put your supervisor on the speakerphone and let the person hear if they're near a phone. If not, call and put your supervisor on the phone and tell the person, hey, I'm calling my supervisor, I'm putting on the speakerphone. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. Then go. Okay, Grace grows increasingly angry because she finally stands up from her chair and started shouting at staff, I'm sick of waiting. I want to see someone now. I am sick of waiting. I want to see someone now. Where is she?
She's at release. I think she's at release behavior. Defense.
I want to see somebody now. Increasingly angry.
What do you think?
I think it's like between release and intimidation. I don't know if it's necessarily intimidation, but it's, you know.
She's not intimidating. She's just yelling.
Yeah.
So where is she on the module number? Where is she? Is she in the anxiety mode? Is she in the defensive? Is she in the risky or tension reduction?
Oh, she's actually at risk to herself. So she's standing up on a chair.
Risky behavior.
It just stands up from her. I don't think it's standing up.
Oh.
I think it's.
Oh, never mind.
She stands up from her chair. She was sitting. She stood up.
Okay. I thought it was like she stood on the chair.
No, stands up from her chair.
I think it's defensive, but a little more also anxiety too, because it's that, oh, I've been waiting. She probably feels like the clock ticking. She might, you know, be late for something. She's sick of waiting. No one likes waiting for anything. So it's kind of that built-up anxiety boiling right into defense. I don't know if it's not like direct defensive yet, because she's not like, it's not a two-way street yet, but it is defensive in the fact that she's like, I'm tired of waiting. It's like, I want it now.
I think she's defending herself because she's trying to advocate for herself. Yeah.
I want some attention.
Yeah.
Now. She's not questioning. She's not refusing. She has not intimidated anybody. She's not even going to tension reduction. She just said, I need to see somebody now. I'm sick of waiting. I want to see somebody. She's demanding. Defensive. I want it now. You got to do something now. So at this point, you as a staff person, what do you do? Very quickly, one word.
I'm going to go support.
Support. We got to speak up because we're recording.
Support.
All right, what word exactly? Because you're not going to walk to her and say, okay, I'm here now to support you. What will you say to support her? What will you say? One word.
What do you need? One word?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
1, 2. How may I help you? Again. Don't do this. How may I help you? No. Anytime I try to talk to somebody, I always, if you watch me when I'm talking, I like to grab my hands like that. I always go like this. It's a habit for me, whatever works for you. I'm always, you know, I do that a lot, and I do this. I mean, this is not part of CPI. It's just me, you know. To me, if I do this, if somebody were to talk to me and did this, they're not showing any type of defensive behavior. It's more like a calm for me. I hold my hand like this to myself. I'm like, okay, how may I help you? And I lean in a little bit. How may I help you? How may I help you? This is not threatening at all, is it?
No.
Right? If I do like this, you'll be like, okay, I think, she cares. How may I help you? It's not like, okay, how may I help you? Okay.
That's different.
How may I help you? I lean in. How may I help you? You see the difference? If I did this, it would trigger something. Why she did this?
It kind of seems like you're done with the situation. Like, how can I help you? Yeah.
But if I came to you and say, August, how may I help you? I don't want to hear anything. Da, 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 da. Okay. I can want to imagine how you feel, just my one hand moving, or I may not even move it. I can imagine. Let me see what I can do to help you. Let me see what I can do. Do not ever promise what you cannot deliver. Ever, under no condition, promise what you cannot deliver. Do not ever. Let me go get the president of the college. It's not within your power. You can't do it. Even if you're able to, you can't do it right here, right now. So only promise what you can deliver, and the words you're going to use, let it be very precise, nothing long, drawn out. If you give directions, let it be concise, to the point, what you are able to do. Okay? All right, let's move on, please. Okay, Said becomes increasingly agitated when asked to perform a task. Suddenly, he responds, "No, you cannot make me." Where is Said?
Defensive and refusal.
Defensive and refusal. If they're being defensive, you as a staff person, and they're refusing, what do you do as a staff person? Remember, we're layering. We're going for the anxiety. We're going to your defensive. We're going to your risky. We're going to tension reduction. So make sure, I want to hear the language.
Yeah, it says are here to redirect the person's focus and attention to the desired outcome.
Redirect. Okay, that's why you have your directive. They become defensive, you direct. It's redirecting them to the positive outcome. Okay? He's agitated when asked to perform a task. Suddenly responds, "No, you can't make me. Make me do it." Okay? If you do this task, then, okay, you're redirecting them in a positive way. Like I stated to you guys earlier, I didn't come and say, you have to take, we're going to be here till 4 o'clock. I gave you choices, right? They were simple. We can stay 30 minutes and leave late, or you can do 15 minutes and then we can hurry up and we can get out of here. The choice is yours, right? I didn't force it down your throat. You made that decision. So offer choices. You direct them, you offer choices that you know is within your power to do. Like I'm able to say we can leave by 3:30, we can leave by 3:45. It's within my power. But if I say, okay, I'm going to go buy you an airplane, I don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? It's not in my power. I can dream it, but I just lie. Okay? So only make promises you can keep. Okay? It's simple. It's within your control that you're able to give. All right. Limit setting. When you're setting, there's a crisis going on, always remember care, welfare, safety, and security. If the person is in crisis, we know they always start from the anxiety level. They go to defensive, they go to the risky, we go to tension reduction. However, we have to set limits. Okay? I'm not going to put up with this all day long. I'm not. But if we are setting limits, we have to use phrases that are respectful, phrase limits in a positive way using effective non-verbal and paraverbal skills. Okay? If you're setting limits, your limit setting should be simple. It should be respectful, simple, and reasonable. Like the case we had before. You can't make me. Okay? Can't make me. Of course I can't make you. But I'm going to be respectful. When I set my limits, my limit setting is going to be simple words. Okay? Limit should be, a number of words you use should be very simple. Don't use no jargons that nobody don't understand. It's so long and drawn out, I don't even understand it. And when you're setting limits, you have to be respectful of the person you're dealing with as well. And keep in mind, don't use long, drawn out words. It should be simple. Okay? The number of words you use, limited. Because she said it. She said, by the time somebody have a long, drawn out conversation, I forget. It's like my mind just move out. It happens to everybody. They tell you people's attention span is so short. Okay? So if you're setting limits, let it be reasonable. Connect the expectation to the person's circumstances and level of ability. Earlier, we talked about treatment creation, right? You're going to go create somebody's treatment plan. You don't even have their buy-in. What does that tell me? You don't respect me enough to collaborate with me. I'm angry. I said it's too what? Restrictive. And you come, well, it's like this. What do you mean? It's too restrictive. I'm here to do my job. You're not allowing me to do my job. You know, you just go on and on and on and on. Instead of just asking one simple question, how is it restrictive? Anybody can remember that, right? It's not a long drawn out words. The words are very few. 3. How is it restrictive? Simple. I can understand it as a client. What do you mean it's restrictive? I wrote all this, things down, and then you're going to tell me it's restrictive. You just go, oh, my mind going somewhere else. You know the environment we're in already. So limit your words, but be respectful as you set the limits. Okay? Setting limits, connect the person's expectation, okay, with their circumstances. How is it restrictive? August said, how can we make it better? Together, how can we make it better? I like that. Collaboration. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm asking you, how can we collaborate? So if you limit setting, somebody is going through a crisis, respectful, simple, reasonable. Do not promise anything you can't deliver. Always, always keep in mind the person's circumstances. Connect it. You have the buy-in. Any questions? Are you guys confused yet?
Is the level of ability, that should be for me and the person, right?
You talk about The level and level of ability. Yeah. The level for you to deliver whatever you're going to be promising when you limit setting, your ability to deliver. You can't deliver, how are you going to promise it? So keep that in mind. Okay? Any other question? All right, moving right along. Okay, number 1, framework for planning a difficult conversation. Give me an example of a difficult situation, a message that you were going to deliver to somebody. Very quickly.
Maybe talking to like a parent or a probation officer about like adolescence tardiness.
Okay.
So that can be kind of difficult because it could hurt the adolescent probation-wise. It could, make the adolescent indirectly mad that they're being called out for it. So that can be kind of difficult conversations. You'll probably have to talk to their parent or probation officer, and you'll also have to talk to them. So it will need this kind of like planning, scripting, delivering, and documenting.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you? Difficult conversation. Framework for planning a difficult.
You have to refer a client to some different services because of non-compliance.
Okay, all right, very good. So here at the Elam Center, a difficult conversation could be, I'm going to discharge you from this program for non-compliance behavior. A youth being in the program, they've been coming, participating. However, they just cannot pass a drug test. Same thing with adults. Okay? Now you're planning to tell this person, I'm going to discharge you from treatment because you're just not making the effort to pass your drug test, to stay drug clean, to maintain. Or the other person, you may not be attending as frequently as you should. Your attendance is quite poor based on your attendance record. So I'm going to have to discharge you. So if you're going to do that, these people, they have the right to seek legal counsel. Okay? So don't think because you're going to tell somebody something, they're just going to stop. Okay? They have the right to seek legal counsel. Everybody, not just the client, everybody. Not just in life. Maybe if you're doing something at home, that's a different case. But even at work, if you were going to suspend, fire your employee, you need to let them know they got to go through due process. You do verbal, you do written, you do suspension, and you terminate. But if you have a really good rapport with a person, you want to find out why the problem exists in the first place. Okay? Why does the problem exist? Because I said from the beginning, there is always an underlying reason why something happened, right? We always don't know why. So it's important that we are following up right from the beginning so we'll know why the behavior, why these things are happening. We're having conversation. We're documenting. Because if you don't document, it did not happen. So document, document, document. But everything takes planning. Okay? You have to plan properly. Meaning, you plan if it's a time and date and place, you plan it. Okay? You write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the reasons. I'm going to go in there and say, hey, John Doe, we're here today because you explain to them or you tell them in advance, hey, I want to meet with you on the 15th. Okay? We got to discuss your treatment level. And then you script it. It's written down. And then you deliver the information to the person, right? Deliver the message. You be the bearer of good news or bad news. Tell them why you're discharging them. And then you document in the case file why you did what. Because tomorrow, if anybody come and say, hey, do you know why these things happen, right? You have documentation to send to court if you got subpoena to court. It will be a backup for you. It will be a backup for your manager. It will be a backup for your supervisor. Okay? But if you don't follow the 4 steps, you don't plan, you don't script, you don't deliver, you don't document, it didn't happen. It will be the person's word against yours. Okay? Any questions? All right, next slide, please. All right. Planning a difficult conversation. Practice using the framework for planning a difficult conversation. Activity roles, individual in distress. Be prepared to react to the news the staff person gave you. Okay? Staff, deliver the script you wrote in your workbook from the previous activity. Observer, of course, it's just the 3 of us. So, observer, be ready to discuss what you saw the staff person do effectively. Number 1, the activity role is individual is in distress. Be prepared to react to the news the staff person gave you. It's just the 2 of you. So it's role play. I guess you will be telling on each other. Give me the bad news. I mean, his reaction, just any news, and see. Just give him a news. Let's see his reaction.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So Rebecca just used the bathroom everywhere, in group, with the other kids. And the classroom is crazy. I had to ask to stay in there with the kids so I can come out here and get you.
That's disgusting. I don't even want to deal with that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't seem like something I want to clean up or deal with or handle. That seems gross. Like, why are you coming to me with that? I don't want to help with that.
Well, because you are my supervisor and I need your help. And I don't know what else to do. So that's why I came to you.
Okay, stop. All right. I'm the observer, right? When you told him somebody pee all over the place, the reaction, started rubbing his face. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Yeah. Don't care attitude. Yeah. And then you two became a little bit defensive because I want us to use the language we're learning. Yeah. You became a little bit defensive. He on the other side, I don't care. It's not my problem. Okay? Yeah. Don't care. Showing total disrespect. Instead of being very respectful, he was disrespectful. Okay? Started making faces. Even though the mask cannot help us, but I can see he was making faces, was rubbing his eyes, like, I don't want to deal with it, get out of here, it's not my problem. And then you became defensive because he was showing no respect for the client. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. Good job. Review key points, so reflect on your takeaway from there. I already talked about it. We talk about he not showing respect, you being defensive, because he's telling you it's not my problem. You go back and deal with it. And you're saying, well, you're my supervisor. That's why I came to you. Okay? He was not supportive at all, was he? Okay. He became what? It's a key word.
Is it defensive?
Yes. I want us to use the words with the language of CPI. He became defensive. You know, he became, there was a tension reduction after I talked to him. There was a risky behavior because you are going to be applying CPI. Okay, so just remember to use the language of CPI. So your supervisor became what?
Defensive.
He was not.
Respectful?
There's another one. Starts with an S.
Supportive.
Yes. He was not supportive. He was not respectful. He became defensive. So I want us to remember and use the words, okay? All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Safety intervention. We talk about it. I said our job here is to care, welfare, safety, and security. Okay? The people in our care, we are responsible to protect their rights and minimize harm. Okay? That's where we come in. Our job is to minimize harm to the people that are in our care, our co-worker, and the community. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right. So, non-restrictive intervention includes which of the following? Non-restrictive. Restrictive. In this case, removing items that could be dangerous. A. Disengagements. Limit setting. Removing the person or other people. Physical holding. Calling for help. Select all that apply. Non-restrictive. When you restrict something, what happens? When you restrict me, what do?
Touching.
You take away your it's like it's too close proximity, and you're kind of taking away your independence and autonomy. So like you're making the situation worse.
Okay.
Like also increasing the risk behavior.
Non-restrictive. Restrictive. I'm holding it here. I restrict you. You can't move. Non-restrictive. You can move. So on the board, tell me as many as you can tell me what is considered non-restrictive intervention.
All of them except for E.
And, well, I think C, D, and E would all be restrictive. So I think A, B, and F are non-restrictive.
Okay, so write your response down. You won't change it when we move to the next slide. So just tell me. You can erase it later on, but just write it and then. So write yours down and let me know. You said yours were what?
I said all of them are non-restrictive except for E.
Okay, so just write E down.
And I think A, B, and
Write yours down too, please.
All of them are non-restrictive. So I only think E is restrictive.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, that's why I said just write E down. Just write E. And Elgas, you're saying?
I think the non-restrictive ones are A, B, and F.
Okay, so write it down, please. All right. Next slide, please.
Okay, you're right.
So non-restrictive is removing items that could be dangerous, right? You're not holding anything there. When you restrict something, you hold it in a position, in a constant position. Okay? So disengagement, I'm removing myself from it. Okay, limit setting, I'm being respectful. Okay, I'm being respectful, I'm being simple with my words, and I'm being reasonable. Okay, right? Removing the person or other people that could triggers the person behavior. Remove them. I stated, I said, if don't feel like you come from Shaolin Temple, you're the hero running. No, don't do that. You don't have to be. You can remove yourself, remove the person, get somebody else to intervene. If they don't want to listen to you, they might listen to me better. They could just like my accent, you know. Miss Tupper have a beautiful, such a beautiful accent. And they might want to talk to me. So remove yourself. Okay? Calling for help. That's where that comes in. Call for help. You don't have to always or even feel like you're by yourself. Okay? When you do physical, that's a restrictive. You're holding somebody. And at Elam, we do not do restrictive. Okay? All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Review the section in your workbook related to coordinated and collaborative approaches. Describe a situation when a coordinated approach was used to help manage the crisis. Be prepared to share your answers. A collaborative effort was used to manage a crisis where you're asking for help. It's not by yourself. There was a situation, you got somebody else involved to deal with the crisis. And then tell me the outcome. Did they lead to therapeutic rapport? At the end, did they reduce the tension? Where you have therapeutic rapport, when the person was being defensive, were you directive, or the other person came and was directive? The person was having this anxiety level, were you supportive? So we want to use the language we're using. Always, always. Care, welfare, safety, security, anxiety, defense, directive, tension reduction, risk behavior. Use the language. All right. Let me give you a quick minute to tell me where you had a situation where it was a collaborative, coordinated approaches.
So I think a situation would be, we, like the place where I worked, I did a lot of janitorial stuff, and a lot of people would come up that were unhoused and would have like, you know, difficulties with other people being around, or just a difficult situation. And I had one time where a man was like yelling at me because he felt like I was in his space, even though part of my job is to clean the area. And I kind of just took a step back and was like, let me get my manager to come help you. He knows, you know, did a little fibbing. I was like, he knows more than me, which I was like, I knew about as much as him because of janitorials, not much to know. But I was like, he's, you know, he's the superior, he knows the knowledge, he can help you. My manager came up. I have a great, you know, had a great relationship with him. You know, he was very supportive for me, and together we were able to kind of explain what my intention was of being in that space and come to an understanding. And, you know, we came to the resolution of like, I can come back another time. I understand that you want to be this space by yourself. You don't want disturbances, so I can come back another time.
Stop right there. There's a word you use. I told you, take it out.
But yeah.
It's that one phrase you keep using. Take it out. I mean, I know for explanation purposes, but I'm saying that I understand, practice leaving it out. It can escalate situation more.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So you had a collaborative effort, and you had a tension reduction done. Okay? When the person was being defensive. Okay? All right. Okay, Miss Lady. A situation where you had a collaborative approach.
Okay, so with a different client that I had, he said something inappropriate to me in one of our sessions. And so I shared that with my supervisor, and then the following session that we had, my supervisor was with me, and we all had a conversation together about it. And then transfer his case over to my supervisor instead of being with me.
Okay, okay. So the outcome was where did we go? From defensive to
We went from that. This is really. Can you help me with this one? Because I think I went defensive. I became with the client. I don't know. Was that a risk behavior that he did?
okay.
I think.
Let me hear the story again.
Okay, so basically, I was having a one-on-one session with a male client.
Okay.
And he said something that was
Inappropriate.
very inappropriate. And so, I corrected him in that moment, but then I still went to my supervisor and I talked with him about it. And I told him I didn't feel comfortable handling his case anymore. And so, then the next time we set up a meeting with all three of us. And then my supervisor helped to mediate it and then let him know that his case is not going to be with him.
Okay, okay. So, in the case with your supervisor, what were they doing?
My supervisor was directive and supportive.
Your supervisor, in her case as a supervisor, she was being supportive. She offered some choices. Okay? She set limits. She said, your case is now with me. Okay? Make sense? Your case is now with me. Before even we came to the case is now with me, she planned, she scripted, she delivered, she documented. Okay? Because this one, it wasn't like, there's a situation going on. The client was inappropriate. Directed him. You can't do this.
Right.
This is not acceptable. I'm not sure, did he apologize?
No, he did not. Wait, in that moment.
Did he become defensive?
No, he didn't. And then even with the conversation with all three of us, he never apologized. He was just quiet. He was just like, okay. Just agreeing with everything.
Don't care attitude. That's what our client put up. Don't care. I do not care. Okay? Whatever. I intimidate you in a subtle way. So what? I didn't have to verbalize it. So what? I don't have to apologize. So what? Make sense? He didn't have to verbalize it to say, I don't care. But just the fact that he did not even recognize that he had offended you, that tells me a lot. I don't care. I can do it again. I can do it again anytime. So what? What are you going to do to me? I didn't have to verbalize it. But that right there, that's the message I'm getting from him. I don't know if does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So a case study again. We want to let's look at the healthcare very quickly. All right. In a lobby of a healthcare facility, several people wait for their appointments. Two people sitting next to each other begin arguing. One is blaming the other for their loved one being in an accident. The other individual refuses to take the blame. The argument becomes louder and more animated. A staff member approaches the people arguing to try to de-escalate the situation. Well, the staff person walking over there, if they're like, they have this busy here, what's going on here? It can increase the situation, right?
They
Because
might both turn against them. Come together and get mad at you. And then finish.
first of all, there's a lot of anxiety going on here. I mean, you guys can stand up if you need to. There's a lot of anxiety going on. There's an accident. Individual A is not willing to take the responsibility that their family is responsible. And individual B is saying, I'm not responsible either. Your family is responsible. So both of them going at it with each other. See what I'm saying? They're both in a closed area. They're in a closed area. So that makes it even harder. A hospital waiting room, it's not a big space. It's closed in. So the staff person comes in trying to de-escalate the anxiety level between these two families that are waiting. A lot of things could happen. Both of them could either be defensive, I mean, which of course they are. There's a lot of tension in the room. She comes right walking to that fire. What do you think gonna happen? People probably yelling at her, you know. They're probably yelling at her. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is a human services case. In the day room of a treatment center, several people are watching television, playing games, or reading. The two residents sitting next to each other begin arguing over who gets to pick the next program to watch. The argument becomes louder and more animated. A staff member approaches them to try to de-escalate the situation. All right, very quickly, August, tell me what's going on here. We are Elam Center, residential program. You have a room, you have one television, one remote. Client A say, I want to watch, what do you call it? What a game show. Give me any game
Family
show.
Feud.
Huh?
Family Feud.
Family Feud. Then the other person say, I want to watch Jeopardy. Okay then. So how do you settle this situation? Talk among yourselves, and I'm going to walk in. I'll be the staff person.
Oh, we're arguing?
Oh, me and him.
Yes.
Okay.
You in a unit. You argue.
You always get to watch Jeopardy.
I never get to watch Jeopardy. You always cut it off to watch Family Feud, and you always cut it off
Because
to...
Family Feud is better.
It's not better. It's
Yes,
so
it
annoying.
is.
They never get the questions right. At least when you watch Jeopardy, they get the questions
No,
right.
it's boring.
No, it's not boring. It's
And
educational.
Family Feud has better music, and Steve Harvey is
It doesn't have better music.
And
That's
Steve
not
Harvey,
for
but
sure.
you can't
But
lie.
Jeopardy's
Steve
more
Harvey is funny.
iconic. Is Steve
No,
Harvey
whatever.
funny? Is he even funny?
August, you're just a TV hall.
Hello. Hello. How's everybody doing?
He is always talking to TV.
I'm not. She wants
Yes,
to hug
he
the
is.
TV.
No, because
Okay.
I had the remote
She's
first.
Okay.
And I was
All
trying
right.
to watch
August.
Family Feud.
Hold on. I can't hear both of you talking. I want to hear one at a time. What's going on?
I want to watch Family Feud.
Mm-hmm.
He's always talking the remote.
Okay.
And he won't let me watch Family Feud.
Okay. All right. So when is your show comes on?
It comes on next. After this one goes off.
Okay. So what's on now?
I don't know. Something stupid that they're watching.
Okay. All right. Your program is next.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. So your program comes on at 3 o'clock. What are you watching, August?
I want to watch Jeopardy, and I feel like she always talks.
No, it's okay. Are you watching anything right now?
No, we were waiting for each of our shows to come on, and they come on at the same time. So
Okay.
we can't watch both of our shows.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. This is my suggestion. If she wants to watch Family Feud, Jeopardy, Family Feud, right? And it comes on at 3 o'clock. And you want to watch Jeopardy. Jeopardy, I know don't come on at 3 o'clock. Okay? I know it don't come on at 3 o'clock. So it probably come on like 8 o'clock at night. I don't know, 6, 7. Okay. No, we just, it don't come on at 3 o'clock. So my suggestion would be, since her show is at 3, in few minutes, I suggest you give her time to watch her show at 3 o'clock, and then yours come on at 6 o'clock. You can watch it because there's something else on TV she's not interested in that you just want to see, but that is not a main show you want to watch. So I suggest she watch her first, and then yours come on at 6 o'clock. You can watch it. Is that acceptable?
That's fair.
Is that fair? Is that reasonable? Okay. So whatever is going on right now, both of you can just watch it. At 3 o'clock, she gets to watch hers, and then at 6 o'clock, he gets to watch his. Okay? All right. So that right there takes care of it. I'm not coming here and saying, well, why you always have the remote control? Why you always, August, the argument going to escalate. But my place is to come in and say, okay, if you want to watch game, or if you want to play a game, or you want to see your show, what time your show come on. If you want to play a game, is this game on the TV? Or is there something that you just want to play, but it's not something that's running right now or in the next few minutes? If it's not, then I have to find options, offer choices, be supportive, respect you as a human being. I can't come and try to set a limit for you, and I know I cannot offer you those choices. I'm not respecting you. Why are you always holding on to the remote control? Well, because I get to the remote control first. It's another total ball game. But if I offer choices, I set limits, I offer choices, the wording is simple, it's not long drawn out to get somebody lost in the moment, somebody can listen to me. And I would always want to ask, is that okay by both of you? I'm being respectful of you and him. Because we only have one television here. Now, if both of you disagree and say, no, I don't want to wait, because sometimes it may happen. I don't want to wait. Okay? I don't want to wait. Well, we don't have another television. We got one TV. So the only choice we have here is for you to wait, because Jeopardy doesn't come on until 6 o'clock. You don't have any other choice other than allow her to watch hers. Or you watch with her, she watch with you. If both of you agree. So you have options. We can watch this together and then watch Jeopardy at 6 o'clock. It happens at home among siblings, the same thing. Kids do that. Husband and wife do that. Yeah. Sweetheart, I want to watch this movie. Why are you always hogging on to the remote control? People fight. Yeah. A simple thing. Okay, if both come on at the same time, do we have other options, other shows you can watch? Okay, if it's in the home, then there's a need for us to buy a second television. So we don't deal with this. Yeah. So when your show comes on at 4 o'clock, you can hug your remote for all you want. I'm going to be in the basement, in the manhole, and I'm going to be watching something else. So we don't fight. Yeah, right? There's no need to fight. Problem solved. You have two television, problem solved. But like here, on the unit, you got one TV. So you got to be creative. Okay? All right, next slide, please. Okay. Maintaining safety in the training program. Be professional and respectful. Notify the instructor of any past injuries. Accept the instructor's guidance. Follow the instructor's direction. Stop any classroom activity when asked. Do not engage in disruptive activity. Report all injuries. Maintain legal responsibilities. We don't do anything illegal. We're respectful because that's a core value here. Care, welfare, safety, security. Professionalism at all times, not some of the time, all times. Respecting the clients we deal with, our co-workers, and the community that we come in contact with daily. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so with that said, this is where we're going to be doing some little bit training on blocking. We don't hold. We are a hands-off facility, okay? We are a hands-off. Since it's just the three of us, and it's going to be me standing on the side looking, I might switch up, or I might just let the both of you do it while I watch to see if it's correct. If it's wrong, then I'm going to say, no, this is the way to do it, okay? So with that said, we're going to do blocking. Now, if you know you have any injuries, that's why they say let the instructors know. If you have any past injuries, if there is any activities you can do, because we don't want to be liable for any legal issues. If there is anything you cannot do, most definitely, please, please, please let me know, okay? Let me know. I cannot do this, and we will not do it. So this will be your time to speak. Okay. Okay, so we got a couple of things we're going to be doing. It's just a safety measure for you if somebody tries to attack you. Some things you can engage in to sort of protect yourself from any harm. Okay, so August. Okay. So I need you guys right here. Okay, don't go too far because I want the, yeah, come right here. Yeah, okay, so we look, you see, that's blocking. Earlier we talked about posture, position, and proximity. The distance you're standing, right? Your position, your posture. Now, always, always, you want to make sure, I know it may not always happen, you always want to put your soft leg, which is your left leg, in front. Your right leg is your strong leg. You want to always keep that in the back. Make sure. If it's in a situation, just make it a mind thing. You can think about it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Left leg. But if you do your right and I push you really hard, guess what?
Fall down.
You're down to the floor and I'm on top of you, you know. So let's make sure we're not doing that. So, okay, get into your position. You see the way the guy is, left leg in front, you're standing in your position, okay? All right. So you're going to be the client. She's going to be the what? Staff.
Yeah.
Client, staff. So when I say client ready, staff ready, you get into your position. If I say go, you see how he's standing in the position, right? They're going to go like this. Their one hand is going to be in front of you, like that, okay? See, he's standing too, yeah? So you just push it. Yeah, just push it. Lift your hands, just do that.
Okay.
And then you step away. See, when you're in it, soft leg, you push, move back. Got it? Soft leg, watch my leg, soft leg, push, back. Push and back. You still balance, okay? All right. So, client ready, staff ready. Let's see. You're going to come try to strike him.
Okay.
You're going to try to strike, okay? All right. One more time. Watch. You got to, all right, okay? Make sure you're firm because if you push your hand and let's move so we don't get out of the camera way. Make sure that you're coming to hit him, but when he moves, you, the client, make sure you don't fall, please. We don't want no liabilities, okay? And you, the staff, make sure you have your soft leg in front. Your position, your posture, the proximity, the distance you're standing, make sure, okay? Because what we will be doing, we want to make sure you are safe, the client safe. All right. So, staff ready, client go. All right, that's it. Staff ready, client go. All right. Okay, good job. Swap. Now, you are what?
The staff.
You're the staff. He's a client. Okay, make sure we come this way. All right. So, what did I say about the position and the posture? Yes, that you're moving, you're pushing them away. But what did I say about the position?
Always have the left leg up.
That's
Soft
what
leg up.
the soft leg, right? The soft leg is always going to be your left leg. Your soft leg is always going to be your left leg. And when you push, you, the staff, make sure you have your strong leg behind and the soft leg in front so that when you push the client and you move back, you're not falling. You're still balanced, okay? We want to always be safe. Safety, safety, safety. Your safety, the staff safety, and even an observer safety. So, okay, so client ready, staff ready, set in position, go. Okay. Staff ready, client ready, go. All right. Okay. So what just happened right there? Her arm was right in your face. See what I'm saying? Your arm was right in her face. So you could have hit her right there. So, all right. Staff ready, client ready, go. All right. There you go. Client ready, staff ready, go. Very good. All right. Because you don't want the hand to be like right there. I mean, it can happen, but I'm saying let's make sure that when the person lifts their hand up, you are just, yours is to push it. And you step back. Soft leg, strong leg, bam, boom. Okay? All right, good job. Next slide, please. Good job, good job, good job. Okay. Review the points to remember and reflect on the key takeaway from your module. Go ahead, real quick. What did you experience in the first one?
Left
Left
leg
forward, right leg back, push,
push, and
step back.
But what did I say about, what did I call the names of the legs?
Soft leg.
Soft leg, strong leg.
Very good. Okay, next slide. I like these people. Okay, disengagement skills. Go. All right. The key to consider with physical intervention, duty of care, reasonable and appropriate, last resort, and least restrictive, risk of doing something versus risk of doing nothing. Human rights, reduce, use, prevent, misuse, and abuse. All of these things, again, it goes right back. Care, welfare, safety, security. Everything we do here is based on CPI guiding philosophy. That's the bottom line. Everything we're doing. You cannot go past these 4 philosophies and go anywhere there if you have not memorized the care, welfare, safety, and security. That's paramount. You have to do that. So everything we do here is our duty. Whatever we're doing, is it reasonable? Is it appropriate? Is it a last resort and least restrictive? Okay? Least restrictive. I'm just pushing you. I'm not holding you. Okay? Risk of doing something and not doing anything at all.
Pushing away versus getting punched.
Yeah. Okay? If I don't push you, you can whip me. Okay? If I don't do anything, of course it could get more dangerous. Okay? Human rights. You want to respect their rights too. Reduce use, prevent misuse, and abuse. Because some people do that, they abuse clients. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are keeping our clients safe. Okay, we already talked about this, the position, the partial proximity, the biochemical benefit, principles of disengagement, hold and stabilize, pull and push, lever. Okay, push, pull, lever, you move yourself away. Okay, I'm gonna lever, push myself, move myself away from harm. All right, again, we do not restrict anybody. That's why you see me, all of the restrictive holding techniques, I didn't use any. We do not hold anybody here, okay? It's policy, we don't do it. We just, we intervene, we prevent crisis from escalating, okay? All right. So, this is the next one. You disengage, you're just getting yourself away. Disengage, okay? So, the disengagement, you have level 1, which is low risk, medium risk, high risk. You can look at it. If somebody, okay, somebody just come and hold your hand and hold it up here. Look at the example. I hold your hand like that. What harm is in this? Okay? It's not much harm, right? Like this. Okay? But if I now go, you have your hand like this, try to release your arm from me. Don't do that. Nope.
So I use my other hand?
Lever.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Let's go again. Lever. Okay? See? Simple. Okay? Now you got level 2. I hold your hand. We move to that. I grab it like that. Okay? Now, let's see here. It go up a little bit. When you go level 1, it's like down here. Level 2, you go a little bit. So go again. See? Go, lever. Okay? Level 3. Now they grab really hard. Okay? I'm grabbing really hard. Try to lever out. Okay? Now try to see if you can hold it this way. Pull it up. Pull your arm. See it? Go.
Wow.
See it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's level 3. I'm holding on real hard. If he pull like this, I'm going to move with him. But if he just go and really lever out like that, because my 2 hands may not even go across. His wrist could be fat. My whole hands don't go around it. So when I hold him like this, okay, try, release, okay, it's easy. Like that, go again. Level 3, okay. But if he pull me towards him and I'm holding on, guess what? We're going, okay? All right, so let's try. I'm going to say staff ready, client ready, level 1. Any questions? Level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, so you guys go right here. Because I want the camera to pick on you. Let me see. Okay. All right.
Sheet out.
All right. Client ready, staff ready, level 1. Hold. Okay, client ready. No, not yet. Client ready, staff ready, level 1 is right here. Okay, it's right here. Level 2, you're going to go a little bit and try to hold a little bit more than you did in level 1. Level 3, you're just going to go, but it's going to be a little bit more firmer. Got it?
Okay.
All right. Staff ready, client ready. Hold him. Okay, go. Okay. Staff ready, client ready, go. Okay. All right. Staff ready, client ready, go. Level 3. Okay. So that was level 1, level 2, level 3. So if somebody just walk to you and hold your wrist like this, they could just be kidding, right? So you don't have to be very forceful. They might just be playing. You know, some clients just hold your hand like this. Don't go now. Okay, they're ready to do something. Might just not be even anything. So you can just, you know, don't be forceful because it's not anything rough. I'm just holding like this. I could just be, okay. See what I'm saying? Because the tendency is like if you pull up roughly and I have nails,
Could scratch.
I could scratch you. If I'm just holding you like this, it's nothing. You can say, let go. Let go my wrist. See what I'm saying? Let go, please. Let go my wrist.
Let go, please, please.
Okay. Okay? So staff ready, client ready, go. Okay? You didn't even communicate.
Oh, this is the playful one? Oh, okay.
No, you can communicate. You can say what's going on. Why are you holding my wrist? Let my wrist go.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yeah.
You know, so let's try to communicate. All right.
Okay.
Staff ready, client ready, go.
Hey, August, what's going on?
I'm just trying to play around. I just was.
Oh,
I
can you
just
let
trying
go,
to.
please?
No, I just wanted to.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. That was easy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you just don't want to assume that this person want to fight or do something and you start forcing your arm. What's going on? Is everything okay? Why are you holding my wrist? And if they don't, then you can release it.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So staff ready, client ready, let's go. Okay?
Hey, what's going on, August? Can
I
you let
just.
me go?
I want.
Yeah,
really
I
want
need
your-
you to let me go, okay?
All
You
right.
tell me what's going on?
All right. Okay. Very good. Okay. So that was low level 1. It's not a strong hold. Okay? It's not a strong hold. Somebody might just be playing. They just come like this. You know?
Yeah.
And then here you are just forcing your wrist, which could trigger something else. But you want to ask them, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So that way you know they're not trying to get into anything. Now, if they move it to level 2, it's going to be a little bit more harder than level 1. Ask the same question, what's going on? They're not going to stay in the same place and try to hold your wrist and say, okay, you know, I just want to play. But you always want to ask them, what's going on? Why are you holding my wrist? Let go my wrist. Let's go my wrist.
Yeah.
And see if they can leave it. If not, then that's when you can pull away from them, okay? All right. So, client ready, staff ready, level 3, go.
Hey, I need you to let go of my
I
wrist.
just want.
Okay. All right.
At that, I feel like at that point it's like, hold on now.
Yes. I got to let it go because they're holding on hard. So, swap.
Okay.
Now, she is the what?
Client.
You, staff. Client ready, staff ready, level 1, go.
Hey, what are you
Hey,
doing?
Mr.
No.
August.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. You always want to communicate. You want to ask them why they're holding your wrist. What's going on? You know. Client ready, staff ready, level 2, go.
Hey, what's going on? Why are you not holding wrist?
All right. Okay. Okay. So let's make sure we're communicating so that it just doesn't look like we're just going, you know, walking down the street, somebody just walking, grab my hand. So let's make sure we're Elam Center. This person holding my wrist. So now I want to make sure why you holding, I'm asking, why are you holding my wrist? Is everything okay? What's going on? Let go of my wrist. I can release myself, okay? Client ready, staff ready, level 3. It's a high risk.
Hey, why are you holding my wrist? Let's let go.
All right. Very good. Level 1, no harm intended. Just grabbing it. I could just be saying hello, you know, because some people cannot verbally communicate. See what I'm saying? I could be trying to get your attention. So I just hold that. You can say, okay, what's going on? Why are you holding my wrist? And then let go of my wrist. They might just leave it. If they don't, release it. Okay? Now they go level 2. That's the problem. I'm going up like this. Okay? Now talk to me.
Yeah, so why are you holding my wrist? I need you to let go, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what else to say.
Okay, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need you to let go.
No.
I need you.
No.
I need you to let go.
Okay. Make sure.
I have to make sure I'm planted too.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Okay? It may not always come ready, but when you think about it, may not always be like anytime you walk, okay, I'm going to walk like this. No, it's not like that. But just something to think about. If it happens, that's what needs to come to your mind, okay? All right, good job. Next slide, please. So that's, always communicate. Okay, this is the disengagement skills clothing. They're holding your clothes. So this one, I don't tell people hold people close, but I said this, excuse me, this is what we'll do. Just put your hand right there. We pretend like they're holding it. So I do this, lift for your two hands and hold it. You see that? No, it's close. Look at it. Okay, you see it? Let go of my shirt. Let's go my shirt. Let's go my shirt. Let's go my shirt. I'm holding your shirt. And what do you do from that point? Okay.
Push down.
Okay. Now, if I go the next one, I'm still here, right? You don't want to sometimes I hold it so hard, by doing this, I might rip your shirt. So what you're going to do, you go up here. Look at that. You go up there. It's like you hold your shirt up there. Okay? Now you're here, then you can try to push it down. See? Because if you don't do that, what happens, your shirt, I'm holding on to it, your shirt is going to stay in my hand, come down. Because now, this is level 2, it's a little bit firmer. Level 1 is no big deal. See what I'm saying? So, okay, let's go. All right. So level 3, I'm like holding it real firm, like that. Go. Watch. Okay. Now go. Okay. All right. You got it? All right. So, staff, ready. Client, ready. Staff, client.
Okay.
Staff, client. Okay? All right. So level 1, low risk. Client ready, staff ready. Go. Make sure. I'm not sure if we can, I don't know if you come here, you can see the thing better, because I want you guys to stand like this so people can see it.
Okay.
You know, like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people can see. Okay. Client ready, staff ready, level 1. All right. Communication, communication, communication. Why are you holding my shirt? Is everything okay? Some people cannot talk. I know we're not in the facility, but just in case, somebody could just be trying to get your attention. So make sure you're communicating. You're asking them, why are you holding my shirt? Why are you holding my wrist? Why are you doing this? And then if they don't, then you can remove them. Okay? Client ready, staff ready, go.
Hey, why are you moving my shirt?
And this one is not forceful. Level 1 is very low risk.
Okay.
So don't be forceful. Level 2, little bit. And then level 3, bam. Okay, then it's getting serious. All right, client ready, staff ready, level 2. Communication. Communication, communication, communication. All right, staff ready, client ready, go.
Hey, why you grabbing my shirt? What's going on?
All right, all right. All right, that was level 2. Level 3, staff ready, client ready is a little bit more firmer. They're now up, they're holding it, but the thing that happened in level 2, I didn't see. Level 2, you know, the hand is here. They're holding on your shirt. See that? So what you do, you leave their hand, because when you try to pull it, you hold your shirt. Level 2, hold your shirt and then pull their hands down. Because if you don't do that, what happens? They can rip your shirt or they can take you down with your shirt.
Yeah.
So let's do that again.
Okay.
Level 2, medium risk. Client ready, staff ready, communication. Go.
Hey, let go of my shirt.
Okay. You hold your shirt, you push your hand down. Because if you don't do that, what can happen?
Rips or takes you down or
Take me down.
All right. Okay. Swap.
choke you out from the back.
No, let's
What
go. We
else?
got to do
Oh,
level
third one.
3. Level 3.
3.
All right. So this one right here, we know that the hand is still on the shirt, but they're holding it harder. Same thing, they're holding the shirt, but it's harder this time.
So imagine I'm holding it harder.
Yes.
And
But-
it looks like the elbows are up here and like forcefully pushing it down.
Pushing it down.
It's the,
Yeah.
it's the leverage part.
Yes, yes. So make sure you're doing that. Okay. Again, if you're the staff, you're in your position, okay? You're in your stand. Staff ready, client ready, go.
Hey, I need you to let go now.
All right. Very good. That's level 3. This is no more joke. Don't be holding my shirt like that. We're already gone from level 1 to level 2, and you're still holding on. You would need to do that. Very good. Next slide, please. Ba, 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 da, ba. All right. This is the hair disengagement. Okay, so you have level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1, again, we're not going to grab the hair. We're just going to do the same thing. And excuse me, you just do that, okay? That's what we're going to do. So when they do level 1, same process. You see what she's doing? She do that, and then she do this. And then she just try to bring it out, right? It's not hard. It's very low risk. So you don't try to pull it real hard.
And it looks like the other hand is like on top of
Yeah.
there.
The other hand is on top. She's holding it from the top. So make sure, yeah, the first one, yeah, she's holding it from the top, and the other one is down. Okay. All right. So when I say client ready, staff ready, go, make sure she put her hand up here, or he put his hand right here. She got one hand on top, okay? And then the other hand, she's going to just do that, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a high risk,
Yeah.
very soft, okay? All right. Then level 2, you see he got a hand there. What he's gonna do is go under it. You watching it? Goes under it. Let me see if I can stay. So do that, okay? You go under it like that, okay? So it's like you're working your way,
Okay.
okay? Like you got a roller, you're rolling it, and it goes down, okay? Level 3, grabbing the head, now her head is down, okay? Same process. Okay? See that? Her hand is up there, the hand is here. So she's going to try to still do the same rolling. Because when I go this, you do this. You can roll it. I can go down. Okay? I can roll it. I don't have to try to push it like that. But if you hold my hair like this, and I go like this, it's going to weaken it some kind of way. So you just go under it. All right. So staff, client. Staff, client. Staff ready, client ready. Level 1, communication, communication. Go.
Hey, let go of my hair.
All right. Very good. Staff ready, client ready. Level 2, medium risk.
Hey, let go of my hair.
All right. Same thing, right? So if Una gets tougher, look at level 3, because she's going to have to go down. At this point, he's holding hard to her hand. Okay? All right. So let's go. Staff ready, client ready. Go.
Let go now.
Okay. So make sure, again,
Oh, yeah.
you're rolling under. Okay? Let's do that. Staff ready, client ready, level 3.
Let go.
All right. Very good. Got it? Swap. Okay. So level 1, communication is essential. Communication, communication. Lower level risk. Level 1. Let's go. Staff ready, client ready.
Hey, let go of my hair.
Okay. Communicate. Why are you holding my hair? What's going on? Is everything okay? At the same time, you're trying to move the hand. Okay? So Let's go. Start ready, climb ready, level 1.
Hey, why are you holding my hair?
All right. Okay. All right. First of all, what's wrong with the picture right now? Who's the client? Who's the staff?
I'm the staff.
You the staff. You were not in your position. She was. I look at your legs. Soft legs in front, strong legs behind. Okay. Client ready, staff ready, go. Level 2. Level 2.
That's the wiggle.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right. Okay. Level 3, high wrist. She's holding really hard to your head. Staff ready, client ready, go.
Hey, let go of my hair.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Okay, so explain to me very quickly. 1 to 3, level.
So 1 is low risk. You're asking what's going on, and then you push it off. 2, you could still ask, but maybe say like let go of my hair, and you're wiggling under. 3, it's kind of like you're not really asking too much anymore. You're saying let go of my hair while trying to wiggle
Because what happens if you bend down like this, you don't stand up, you bend down. Because they're holding it like this, so you bend down. You bend down, you work your way down. Okay? You wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, that's the choking. Disengagement. Okay, again, they're going to, excuse me, they're going to hold your shirt right here around the collar. Okay? So all you do, okay, now, yeah, that's it. You're going to lift it up. Okay? What's going on?
You're breaking it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay, all right. Number 2, medium risk. It's the same thing, right? They come in with a hand right there. I do this, I'm about to wash, I'm about to come, right? What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay.
Shouldn't that be the first one too? If I see somebody coming at me, shouldn't
I
I
think it's because
No.
I think it's because that one is just like shirt, and this one is like looks like it's gonna be.
Yeah, the
closer.
person is gonna come again. They're gonna come. You let them go. The
they're
first,
coming
they're gonna
again.
come.
It's
Look,
like repeated.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
These are. It's like they start from here.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna come again.
Okay. Gotcha.
You let go, but then still I'm gonna come again and hold your shirt. Make sense? Watch them. Let me tell you, that stand right there is not always going to be possible for somebody to just hold you like that and you're going to stand, do your one hand like this.
Yeah.
But for classroom purposes, we will practice it like that. Because they come like this. The person come like this, right? I got one hand down. I got one hand down. I'm like this. Look, you see it?
And then like.
Yes. You see that?
Yeah.
I do this. You go up. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So you just do this. You come down. Boom. You lift it up. You come down. Boom. Okay? All right. Got it? You got it?
I just gotta practice it.
No, but,
I just gotta do it.
okay.
Like the last one, I feel like I need to do it to.
You can
understand
practice.
how to
We
do it.
can.
You
practice.
practice. What they're going to do is, because I don't want you to hold her shirt, you can just do this. And then, you know, you got one hand under. Okay? One hand will grab that one like that. You just grab it like that. Like that. Okay? You have this one hand. You can come up. Boom.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
See it? I hold you like this. You put one hand up, come down.
Okay.
Got it? in the thing, you see it like they go up, but the whole idea is to come down and disengage. Okay? Got it? Okay. You need more practice or no?
It's okay.
No, I want you to get it. So it can be, it's okay. If you don't, we'll practice. But I don't want you to.
Did you do the last one?
I can do the last one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So,
Hold it. Lift one hand. Then come down. Yeah.
okay.
Got it? Okay. I don't want somebody to leave and say, well, yeah, I didn't get it. No. Okay. So now,
You're doing the Heimlich.
yeah. This one is they're holding you. You see the person put their arm around you. Okay? They like that. Okay? One hand on top, right? my hand, you see that?
Yeah.
So what you do, you hold one hand, because I got one hand up, you put your two hands up like that, push it, okay? I hold you like this, what do? Push, okay?
It really works.
It works, okay? So that's how you do that. Because I'm holding you with one hand under, one hand on top. You bring both your hands like this, and you
Push
down. Okay? So that's low raise. They go behind you. You could just be standing. I can just come and hold you like this. See? Because I got one hand on top. I'm holding you like that, but one hand is on top. This one, when I do this, all you got to do is take your two hands, put it right here, boom. It's gone. Okay? Got it? Got it, low raise? Okay, let's practice that one. Stand face the camera like that. Okay, so you, the staff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
right
can't do
here.
none anyway. Okay.
Okay. All right, that's exactly what it is. Client ready, staff ready. Communicate, communicate, communicate.
Hey, let me go.
All right. Okay? So they come behind you, they're going to do that. So when you come, you put your both hands here, asking them what's going on, why are you holding me? Boom. Let go. Okay? Swap very quickly. Okay? Staff ready? Client ready? Go.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. That's low risk. Don't have to push very hard. That's low risk. Somebody could just be joking, come on your back and try to, greet you. Okay. All right. So this is it. This is, the person is still going to try to hold you. Okay. If the person came, you're standing. I'm coming like this, right? I want to come and hold you. Put your two hands up. I want to come and hold you, right? Okay. Either I'm coming this way or I'm going to come there, but I can't come this way. So if I came this way, right, to try to hold you, lift your hand up, try to hold you, what you do? Like if I was coming to hold you, okay? You can just do that. I'm trying to come towards you, to hold you. You're just trying to disengage. That's level 2. That's a little bit being forceful, okay? The person can stand either on your side like this and try to do this, okay? No, watch me. I can do this. Watch, look. Watch.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah.
I'm coming. I want to hold you. Make sense? I want to hold you on your side. Let's go again. Because this is what's going to lead eventually to me coming and doing this, and now you, I do this, go be, no, see that, see, no, one hand under, one hand here, okay, I do this, go one under, oh sorry, one under, one on top, I do, watch, okay, put one hand under, you see it, one
Like
under,
like in the hole, put it underneath the hole.
like this, but yours is crossing over mine.
Like
no.
put it in the hole.
Pour one there, and one on top. Yes.
Then you hold your own hand.
Wash.
You hold your own hand.
Okay. Okay. Wash.
Yeah.
Wash it. It's the same fold, but yours is like this. Same thing, but it goes through. Try to hold me. Okay. You see that? So I will do this. See it? I'll do this. Hold me again. Okay. I'll do this. Okay. So that's all you do. So they hold you, you go in one, you come on top one, boom. You go in, come up, one. So it's like your hand on top of each other, but interlocking theirs.
Got it.
Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. You're interlocking theirs. Okay, so staff ready, client ready, go. Hold. Interlock. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Can I try to see real quick?
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go. Staff ready, client ready, go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's simple as that. Because all you're doing, you got one or two, you can do this. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Push
So you
them
can,
all the way
yeah,
with
push
your back.
and lever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. All right. Next slide, please. This is the bite. All right.
Oh man.
The bite. The bite. The bite.
I like how, why can't it just be high level wrist? I
Oh,
feel like
that looks like you're pushing them.
You're
as
pushing
you-
them down
Yeah.
because
They can let
their
go.
hair right here,
Yeah.
okay? Same thing, you go in with one arm out. You see that? But you're locking. The person that is head is in the lock hole. When I do my hand like this, okay? They're gonna come on. They're gonna do that, and they're gonna do this, okay? Follow? And I'm right here, okay? Watch me. I'm right here, okay? Let go, let go. See it? Come again. Okay? I'm doing this. Okay? Let's go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Okay? So that's medium to high risk. Because the person could really hold your skin really tight. They don't want to go. So when they do that, they come to bite you. You just put it in the fold of your arm. Your hand back here. This person who's holding you, biting you, they will come. You see that one arm will be in, and the other one will be out. Your job is to put your one hand here, and then, boom.
Kind of roll
But
them
you
off.
push it. You push it low. Okay? Because if you try to hold on, it's not going to happen. So if, come, okay? I'm like that, right? I'm like that, okay? Let go, they don't want to. You have to push their hair down with your arm so that the muscle around their mouth can weaken.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So staff ready, client ready. Medium risk. Let's go. Okay? All right. Communicate.
Oh, okay.
Communicate. Why are you biting me? What's going on?
Let go.
All right. Okay? Got it? Swap.
Okay.
Client ready. Staff ready. Communicate, please.
Hey, why are you fighting me?
All right. Okay? So that's it. You put that arm here. Your one hand go behind. The other one is around their neck. Boom. You push it down. Because if you don't do it that way, they're going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
But if you push it down, it weakens the muscle. Let go. Next slide, please. Introduction to restrictive. We don't do that. So go all the way down. Decision-making model. Okay. So go, okay. Decision-making model, somebody is behaving risky. We have to do something. Safety. Okay. So go down. I gave you those yellow sheets for a reason. Those pink sheets for a reason. So go down, my dear. All right. So on the decision making, you have a copy of it. And we will be putting our answers right here, okay? Our answers will be going here, okay? So on the decision making matrix, a 5-year-old boy, Henry, climbed onto a 6-foot metal cabinet. He has good balance and is very agile. File cabinet is against a wall and next to a desk. The cabinet weighed down and unlikely to fall. So right here, we have the severity of the risk, okay? How severe the risk is, how low of a risk of him being harmed, the likelihood of he falling from there, and the high risk involved with he falling from here and injuring himself. Okay? What is the likelihood for him to fall? We say the cabinet is against the wall, right? What is the likelihood for him to fall from over there? Okay?
He has good balance, is very agile.
Okay.
It's weighed down and unlikely to fall.
Okay. So, we will look at low risk, likelihood of it getting hurt, high risk, and the severity of it. So, what you will do, you will write on a piece of pink sheet and let me know and come right up here and tell me if it's a low risk, likelihood, high risk, or the severity level of he getting injured. Got it? Okay, so write it. Is it low risk or likelihood? Or is he at high risk of injuring himself? You got it? You done? Okay, so you come up here and put it in one of these boxes.
Put it in the box.
Put it in your box where you feel.
I just put medium.
You got medium risk, okay. And you said low risk.
I said lower likelihood and lower severity.
Okay, you just got to take one. You confuse the whole thing. So take one.
Because it's like a chart, so it's like...
Okay, you said low risk. Okay. All right. Next slide. Let's see what the thing says. Okay. So, if you put severity, it says you got severity is a medium risk. The severity of the injury is medium. Okay? The severity of the injury is medium. Okay? It's medium. It's a likelihood of Henry falling from where he's sitting because the desk is against the wall. It's not going anywhere. And plus, the distance from there, Henry could easily step down. Low risk. Okay? So the severity of him being injured is medium. Is medium. Okay? So right here is not low risk. It's medium risk. But I'll leave yours under here. Okay? The severity of Henry getting is medium risk. It's not high risk because the thing is not high. It's not like he climbing way on top of a cabinet and falling from there. You know? So, all right. Next slide, please. Let's see, where are we? Okay. In the scenario with Henry, how may you reduce the likelihood of him falling? How may you reduce the severity of harm? Very quickly. How will you reduce it? He's sitting on the cabinet, is agile, is against the wall, blah, 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 blah. How will you reduce the risk?
I think if you're there, if an adult's there and is like, has their arms stretched out to like either help him get down or bring him down themselves, then he won't fall, it reduces the severity of harm too. Because even if he can jump down himself, there's still like a risk of hurting himself if he falls the wrong way. So like assisting him down.
Okay, so you said you would assist him down. Okay, and you?
I would assist him down. I would say, hey, come on, you got to get down. Let me help you.
Gotta come this way so we're in the camera.
Yeah, I would tell him to come get down and I would offer him help.
Okay, all right. So that's how you will reduce harm, right? Okay, next slide, please. Okay. To get started, consider the following. No right or wrong answer. How may your past experiences, fear, or anxiety influence your assessment of what happened? No right or wrong answer. Your past experiences of anything that could lead to high risk, medium.
Yeah, I think if you've had like a head injury before or you've really hurt yourself, you could automatically think that the kid will really harm themselves.
Okay.
Or if maybe like if you're like the parent of the child, like there's like a lot of anxiety, sometimes overblown anxiety about the child's well-being and them falling. So if you're like the parent and you're really overprotective parent and you see them high up on a surface, you're like, oh, they're going to crack their head open, they're going to bleed, so that might see you rate it higher.
August just took the word from my mouth. Overly protective parents. Oh, come down. You're going to fall. So they think the severity is way high. Okay? The severity level is high. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, case study. Let's take one. Which one do you want to go with? Healthcare. Healthcare or human services?
Let's do human services.
All right, let's go to human services. Okay. Okay. Irma, 44, admits herself into a psychiatric hospital for treatment of schizophrenia with suicidal thoughts. Irma has been able to manage her schizophrenia with medication. As she's checking herself in, she appears calm and rational. When the staff members come to show her her room where she will sit during the treatment, her behavior drastically changes. She starts screaming at a staff person, accusing them of conspiring with the men to lock her up, and she refuses treatment. Irma grabs a vase from the desk, telling staff she will throw it. So right here, again, where is she on the crisis module?
Risk behavior.
Risky behavior. Why so?
Because she's
The
threatening
vase.
with the
She has
vase.
a vase and
She has a vase, so we need to speak up because we're recording for people that will be listening to us. So she's behaving risky. You know, she's in a risky mood, risky behavior. So as a staff person, what would be your first instinct?
I need to remove the objects and or people from the situation.
Remove the people, remove any objects.
step back.
Yes.
Get away, because if she does actually throw the
Just
vase
move
down
out
that
the
way,
way.
you kind
Yes.
of step back. And also that's reducing the chance that you look threatening and kind of
Yeah.
try to diffuse the situation, asking her the questions and just but also keeping your distance as she
Keeping your distance, because right there she grabbed the vase. You don't know which way she's going to throw it. But by the time you know she was in that defensive move and carrying on, sometimes prepare yourself that anything can happen. So if you have anything that may cause, harm, try to think about it. Okay? See if you can remove him out of the way. Because you can notice some of these things before they even happen. Okay? She grabbed the vase. It's a time for you to try to step away and get other people safe who might be there. Get everybody away and your safety intervention. All right, next slide, please. Using the previous case study example, determine appropriate safety intervention. Keep in mind your organizational policies and procedures. In groups, determine how may you reduce the likelihood of injury, how may you reduce the severity of harm. Okay, we're going to, again, you have your little pink sheet. I think you only have 2 more. So go ahead and tell me. Okay, that's, oh, yeah, I got some more. So tell me the risk level, just like we did with the little guy. What is the severity level? Is it medium? Is it high risk? Likelihood for somebody to get hurt? Is it medium or low? She grabbed the vase. She grabbed the vase. Okay. Okay.
I think I would either put it here or here.
No, that's up to you.
Just
Okay.
because
Uh-huh.
well actually either there or there. Because I
Yeah.
think likelihood is the severity I think is the highest because if you
Yeah.
get
Severity is the
hit,
highest.
if you get hit with a vase, that's not great. But the likelihood I think it's like she's definitely gonna do it or might do it.
Yeah, I was
So-
trying to battle between these.
So yeah, I think it's one of those top 2 boxes.
Okay. Shall we? So I just want to say thank you for putting up with me throughout this entire process of CPI. I'm excited that we have finally reached the end of our training. So today we'll be talking about some key points to remember and reflect on your takeaway from the module that we've discussed all throughout the training process. We know that CPI is used for de-escalation, We don't always want to get into any type of hauling and pulling with the clients, the community, or even the people that come here, the family. Always remember, we do CPI basically based on 4 core values. The welfare of the client, their safety, security. We always want to make sure that they're safe. We always want to make sure the clients that are in our care, we're concerned about their welfare while they're here. We want to make sure of those core values. We want to keep them in mind at all times. Okay? We just discussed the final points, and I would like for you to tell me today all of the discussions we've had all throughout the training. Some of the things you're going to take away, because you will need to always carry CPI with you wherever you go. So CPI is not a one-time use. You will always use it anywhere. I tell people, even in your home, you can use CPI, because among family, there may be some discussions that may not always be positive. In the grocery stores, in the hospitals, in schools, everywhere, CPI is essential. So we cannot for any reason take it lightly. But keep in mind some of the techniques that we practice. Whatever you're going to do, whenever you apply any of those techniques, I did inform you that we do not restrain. Our Elam Center is a no-no. We do not restrain, but we can apply safety intervention, something that will be safe enough, effective, acceptable, and transferable. So sit. Remember that. Whatever you're going to apply the technique, is it safe? Is it effective? Is it acceptable by the organization? Can you transfer it somewhere else? Okay? So keep that in mind, because we don't want to be held liable for any injuries. That's why we don't restrain. We try to keep it safe for our client. If the client becomes defensive, we become directive. You always want to put yourself in the client's shoes, or whoever you encounter, because to every action there is a reaction. Nothing happens for nothing. You have also been told, and we discussed throughout the training, that whenever there is a problem or for somebody to go off, there is an underlying cost for every behavior that we may not know. And I think we talk about, it could be somebody running late, somebody had a death in their family, somebody is going to have their child taken away from them. All of those things are underlying factor. I'm on probation. If I don't do this program, I'm going to be sent back to jail. That's an underlying factor that can precipitate somebody being angry and behaving out of character. Okay? So if somebody is down there, you notice some type of behavior that is unusual, we'll go out to the person and say, hey, excuse me, sir, ma'am, have you been helped? Is there anything I can do to help you? Okay? Make sure that the person gets to where they need to go. And then your job is done. It may not even escalate to any, issues if you just intervene and direct them and show some concern for the individual. Now, if it goes to the third level, which is the risk behavior, our job here will be safety intervention. If you have someone in your office, you're talking to the person and this individual level have gone up to level 3. You may have a paper clip, or you may have a stapler sitting down, a laptop, projector, anything that you know this person might take and throw at you. Make sure you're removing those things out of the way so that it is safe enough for you and the individual. Okay? So always make sure that safety first. And level 4, which is the tension reduction, where you will see this person will start to cry. Their level of tension have dropped. They may start apologizing. I'm so sorry for what I did. I shouldn't have behaved that way. I shouldn't have insulted you. I'm sorry. If they start crying, that's when you can go and talk to them. You build that rapport. All right, so in conclusion, remember your core value and philosophy of CPI: care, welfare, safety, security. Okay? And crisis, prevention, intervention. We want to recognize the crisis. We want to apply those preventive mechanisms that we've learned, okay? By our intervention. If we remember always that it's not about us, it's about them. We want to make sure they're safe, their welfare is our concern, their security, and their safety. Thank you for coming. You all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And unplug the power struggle. Use CPI. Good afternoon.
So what I've taken from this course, the Crisis Prevention Intervention course, is to always keep in mind the other person's state of mind, and that whatever reaction they're having isn't just coming out of nowhere. It's some reason. You may not know the reason at the moment, but what you want to keep in mind is to keep that person's safety, keep their welfare together, make sure they are okay and you are okay and the area around them is okay. Learning certain strategies if they do become violent or want to start throwing things or try to attack you. This course helped me learn those tactics to disarm them or to get away from the situation, and also be able to diffuse it in the stages where they're being combative and feel like no one's listening to them, being able to come down to their level and making them feel like they've been heard, and then diffusing the situation enough to be able to get to that point where you can build up that therapeutic rapport and be able to talk to them on a two-way street where they know you hear them and you can hear from their perspective too when they're a little more calm and emotionally stable. It's taught me a lot of great skills that I think I'll be using almost every day, not even just working in this environment, but also forward in my career as a therapist, as well as just everyday environments, whether that be road rage in the car or getting mad in a grocery store or anything like that. These sort of tactics, techniques, and skills can be applied to a variety of scenarios.
What I learned about CPI is that we should try and calm down our clients as much as possible if they seem distressed or upset. If possible, we could try and talk to them and see what we can do to help them out. If we can't do anything, then we should be able to find someone else that can help them with whatever they need. If it comes to the point where the person gets hostile or aggressive, then it is best to keep our distance from them and not engage and try and fight back. If they do end up grabbing us, we've learned different ways to get out or break holds. And then once you do that, then you should back away from them and call for help or back up. That way you can get other people involved, and you never want to start fighting the other person. You always want to be the one to back up and get space. We also learned that if you feel that someone may be hostile, or you know that they've been kind of aggressive in the past, then you should clear out things that could be thrown or used as weapons when you're talking to them, just to make sure that you're in a safe space and that you won't get injured or the other person won't get injured. And that's what I learned about CPI.